I want to be tipsy, not tippy.
Let's see. Okay, there's the volume. It looks good. Hello, 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 hello. What's up, everybody? What's up, Pudgy? And who else is in here? Large Marge, Chris, Jay Dandy, Rick, JMZ. Yeah, I totally forgot to start the countdown because I was messing with these wireless microphones. The idea was that while Otis is showing his bikes, when I'm behind the camera, you could actually hear me because I've always talk anyway. So it's a new idea for interviews in general on the bikes or on the stream. So let us know if it sounds okay. I also have it fixed so when we used to try and do this, it would only go to one side. And now it's going to both.
Forgot to say that it's Typhoid Tuesday.
Yeah, it's also Typhoid Tuesday because both of us are just very recently getting over the Rona. Since this morning is the first time I felt better, and
I've got a week.
You're a weekend.
Week of health.
Yeah.
Moderate.
Move all the way onto the concrete because you're like so
All
far
right.
back you're out of focus. And
Focus.
going for that cinematic look here. There we go. I was so focused on my microphones, I don't even have a beer.
I do.
Let's see what else we got. Dylan's in here. Muskrat.
Sister-in-law.
That's your sister-in-law, Megan?
Megan.
Oh, nice.
Hi, Megan.
Oh, so anyways, this is Ryan Otis Adams. I've only ever, oh wait, look how crooked I made that. Oh well, we're gonna be messing with it anyways. For some reason, it doesn't look that crooked, does it? Like you look at us on the screen, but you look at that camera, it's completely sideways. Perspective, you know?
You're doing great.
Yeah. CJ's in here, another recent COVID recoverer.
CJ. Yeah.
Josh Hayden, what's up? So, Otis owns Dirty River Bicycle Works, which is right on the north side of downtown Akron. Is that how you describe it? The north side district of downtown Akron. So he's been on the stream before, so you guys who have been here for a while know him. I'm sure you've seen him in a bunch of my videos on Wednesday nights and stuff like that. And so you were a bike mechanic at what? 3 other bike shops before you opened your own?
More than that.
More than that?
Yeah.
Oh, so I know Eddie's.
Since 1999.
Eddie's Wheel and Wrench. What was the performance store you were at?
Tritech Multisport.
Tritech Multi. That's a catchy name.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a full aero, tubular, zip wheels, head tri-spokes, disc wheels, Pinarello road bikes. Which, if anybody is a medium size and needs a Pinarello road bike, I might know a guy.
Oh, so that's the shop you ended up buying out, like their inventory, and I helped you unload from that truck the one day? Oh,
Yeah.
so it was all that fancy.
I didn't
Racer
I didn't
boy
buy
stuff.
all of it out, but I bought
Bunch of their inventory.
I got 2 box trucks full. So lots of, if you need some 26.0 aero bars.
Yeah. Yeah, you had or what was the other? They had a ton of, there was something we kept pulling off. It was only like you triathletes were probably the only person you could sell it to.
There were a lot of tri-saddles.
Tri-saddles, yeah.
Yeah, and I have mountains of slightly small and slightly large triathlon and 3-hole road shoes.
Ah, the road shoes. I remember the road
$40.
shoes, yeah.
We're gonna do a bike swap.
Oh, Big Nate's in here. What's up? And Rick.
Boss.
Oh, and Otis's wife. And Rick Parrish. Thanks, Rick. I am feeling a lot better. I woke up. I went to bed last night feeling like I still had like a mild case of the flu, and I woke up 1,000 times better. I've been so energetic. I've been trying to stop myself from doing things so I don't just, like I wouldn't ride my bike today. I'm like, no, you're not riding your bike. But then I'm out in the garden all of a sudden, and you know how I am. But
You're a little jazzed. You're a little jazzed.
yeah.
I'll admit it.
Josh said
Josh Hayden? Yeah, he's 4 blocks away.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He's one of the most important people of Eddie's bike shop. Lovely person.
Do I know him? In person?
Maybe.
IRL, as they say?
You could chuck a tomato and get it on a street from here. Lovely human being. Have I said that?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Tubular wheels, tri-spokes. And they weren't some of them those smaller size, so you could like slant your tri bike? Weren't a couple of those wheels like that?
Oh, the funny bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did 24-inch or 650C on the front to drop it down.
Yeah. So you could be even more slammed.
What's the anti of tucked? Fucked?
Yeah. we don't cuss till after 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just so you know.
Fugt. Deep arrow fugt.
Oh, then so. Oh no.
Yeah, Josh gave you a beer at the Road Apple.
Oh,
he was at the
yeah.
top of the hill.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was nervous when Lars jumped in here. I'm like, what's his comment already this early on?
Oh, yeah.
But it was actually just like usual telling me
I'm in
facts.
trouble.
Like usual, just telling me facts that I can't remember on my own show. Oh, Kimberly wants to know what you're drinking, Otis.
Oh,
You explain that while I grab a drink.
yes. It's my name is, let's see, Ryan. I don't know this. Let's see. Missing Falls Rhinoceros Rye IPA. It's kind of like a black IPA. It's truly lovely.
Oh, I
Truly
love that
lovely.
one.
It's my go-to. From the most bike friendly brewery in Akron.
Yeah, did you say the name?
Missing Falls Rhinoceros.
Oh, you said Missing Falls, yeah. Mm-hmm. Kenny's Brewery. Kenny's been a ghost in the background. He's come in to drop off beer, but he won't come on screen.
Really?
He said he will eventually, but
Okay.
yeah.
What are you drinking, Kimberly? Wine with the wine?
Wine with the wine. Some coasters.
Ooh, coasters.
And then, so where else did you work then?
Well,
Because those are the
my
three
dad,
that I know
my
about.
dad kind of was like a overseer of a bike shop in Canton back in the day called Fitness Shop. The oldest bike shop in Canton, it was like 100 years old. It's called Goldie's. They want to retire, and so my dad's company was like health and wellness, and so he talked him into taking it over. So I put like 2 bikes together when I was in middle school. My brother Jared put like 40 bikes together, and we would sweep the floors and empty the trash. But that was pretty much it. But we did sell like we sold Marins, like your Marin, probably not that fancy.
Yeah.
But we did Cannondale with like the head shocks and the.
We've looked at a
stuff
bunch
like
of those on
that.
the stream, yeah.
And that's where Aaron's. You've shown Aaron's winter bike, now mountain bike.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That was
Aaron's,
my brother
Canada.
Jared. He worked at the bike shop and bought the most expensive Cannondale frame, and then he promptly grew out of it within 9 months and never rode it.
Oh, I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why, is that where Brian got it originally?
Yeah. So Brian was a couple inches shorter than Jared, and he built it up, and it was like his gravel bike. Like he rode it all over the place. It was awesome. And then it just kind of sat around, and then Aaron wanted something bigger tires, and you'd had so much success with your 26-inch stud tires.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I can put this together. So basically, it's like not antique, but vintage, like $2,000 mountain bike that we slammed together for like $350 for Aaron.
Oh, here you go. Where did Pudgy write that? He wrote the opposite. Yeah, the opposite of tucked is rived.
Oh yeah, you'll see. My Gunnar is pretty ridiculous right now. It's extra rived. Yeah, we'll see that in a bit.
I actually have Edmund Fitzgerald because I went across the street to get stouts because I know it's what you like, darker beers. But I also had like a
You
mass.
came back with a porter.
Oh, you're right. They're the same. Yeah. This is a pretty dark porter. You like porters too, anyways. But it's weird. One, I never drink out of bottles anymore. But I also was like, my decision was so quick because I had like 2 masks on and she couldn't hear me anyways. And she's like, oh, I had something too. And I'm like, well, I'm trying not to give you actual COVID. So I wouldn't be contagious anymore by what they say, but still, anyways. So.
Yeah, I have to bathe in vinegar and isopropyl alcohol before I enter my home after this. That's not true.
Yeah, I wonder, it's funny though, because you can't get sick, but if, like, can you have, like I said, I technically should not be contagious anymore, but.
So after 11, we start to make out?
No, I'm like, Well, what
no,
if
okay.
you like touch me and then like touch something? Is like even though you wouldn't get it,
This can.
I don't know. Whatever.
No, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go home and take a shower.
Yeah.
And that should do it.
Tom likes stouts.
Oh yeah.
Is that what he's? Because we hung out with Tom on St. Patrick's Day, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
None of us got sick from that. I mean, besides a really nasty hangover.
Yeah. Really nasty.
So what do you think? Should we jump right into the Gunner?
Sure.
Kelly, you better not get the ride through. People sick there doing God's work.
Yeah. The ride through.
I'm not a big Muskrat's Head Vlad.
Oh yeah.
You're all about the
Oh
Vlad,
yeah.
right?
Vlad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not always a huge Vlad fan.
Ben usually brings out the Vlad, and I'm like, oh shit, the Vlad. Like,
Yeah.
I
don't
gotta
mind
get
it.
the Vlad.
I don't mind it. It's been a while though.
Yeah, it's a solid like sit down and be afraid stout. So.
I know I drank a bunch of that at the first Akron Beer Fest, and because they kept pouring when they were trying to shut everything down. They had a bunch of Vlad left, and the organizers were really annoyed about it. And I was shooting for free, just for the free beer, so I was like, "Oh, I'm going to take
A
advantage."
bunch of Vlad
Take full advantage of this.
could go very sideways.
Yeah. Oh wait, let's see if anyone dropped drink picks. Let's show what they're
drink
drinking.
picks.
And I don't think we got any new ones tonight, did we? No, I guess not.
No, jar of wine.
There's a bunch of bike picks to get to, but we'll do that later since we have a special
Ooh,
guest.
Dragon's Milk. That's a beer for sitting
Oh.
down and being afraid.
That's who makes that? That's I can picture that bottle. What was I did miss going to Muskrat. I would like to see a fat bike triathlon, swim up the river and run to the bars.
I am gonna pull off a fat bike day with the Metro Parks. We planned one right before COVID, and it was 36 degrees and pouring rain the entire time. 8 people showed up, including my accountant. It was we had fun, but it was challenging. That was like on the way out on the spectrum of like what is actual enjoyable on a bike.
That's what I always, when we talk about like winter, when we get into winter every year, I'm like, that's my thing. 30s and raining is what I don't do. Like 40s and raining really either. But there's been times when I had no choice. Like when me and Large were riding through Connecticut and it was started in the upper 40s and it was a nor'easter and we just had to get to our next stop. But I'm not leaving the house if it's 36 and raining.
Yeah, well, I had to because
Yeah,
I
you were
asked like,
working.
and like the Rangers lit one of those giant iron like ski hill barrels. So like we all showed up and we were all pretty wet, but they had so much fire in the barrel at Big Bend that like we all kind of did the rotisserie chicken thing.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
And it saved the day. I mean, it was great, but it was like 6 to 8 of us just like, wow, this is Fat Bike Festival in Akron. Yeah, so it was terrible weather.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
You brought a couple bikes.
I rode a couple bikes.
Yeah. I think people have questions, but I could feed those to you, so I'll put this way so I could read it. And you could show your bike.
And you could be just chatting.
Oh, my camera. Oh, that's not going to matter. We're all good.
Do you want me to move over one more?
Yeah, I'll turn on another light over there. No, you could go over to the bike.
Oh.
You could
Okay.
give us a rundown of what you got here. Because this is a... Well, yeah, you give the rundown of what we got here. Why should...
Yeah, well, with COVID, bikes were in very short supply. So years back at a awesome and quirky shop I worked that you might not know the name of in Columbus called Bare Wheels. But it was kind of like Dirty River, but he's been doing it for 30 years like that, and he's an exceptional mechanic and does all kinds of things, and but it's always just been like a small mechanic focused shop, and I sold some Gunnar bikes for him back in the day, and I got to meet the one of the owners of it, and it happens to be a guy named Richard Schwinn, and like those Schwinns, and they have two businesses. One is Waterford, and they do top line steel, full custom bikes, like perfect paint jobs, like elegant. They'll do stainless steel, polished.
In the exact
lug work.
tradition of Schwinn Paramount, right?
Yeah, and it's in the old Schwinn Paramount factory. That's like the one big piece that he and his partners were able to keep from like the Schwinn Megazord or whatever it was. So Waterford's the super fancy one, and Gunnar is like their really good, simple, TIG welded, air hardened steel company where you order a frame and you can pick from 10 colors for stock regular price, and then you can add stuff as you want.
Yeah, it always seems like when you look at their website, it seems like if you start to over customize, you get to the point where you might as well be buying a Waterford at that point,
Yeah.
right? But they'll do it for you if you want them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And isn't the air hardened steel like one of the big differences too? It seems like they were just trying to delineate because Waterford has such a prestigious name that they didn't want to like muddy what that is. That why they started Gunnar kind of?
Waterford, you can pick the levels of steel you want. You can pick lugged and not lugged. Yeah, and any color you want, custom geometry, all that stuff. Gunnar is stock sizes. You pick from 10 paint colors, and it's a little bit less than like a All City Cosmic Stallion, which arguably has a little fancier steel, but it's an American-made, really nice.
Yeah, handmade
really
American
nice.
frame, and
So,
they're in Waterford, right? Isn't that what
yeah,
the name
Waterford,
is?
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And so
So Ricker, before we go on, because I don't, and this is true, a lot of people wouldn't know this. Some people are talking about the bars, but we'll get into that. Rick asked, air hardened steel versus what? So, what's a good good question
I'm
for
out
someone
of practice on this, but no, but the air hardened steel it TIG welds really nice.
It's basically the welding style that you can do with it, right?
Yeah. So other steels, and there's many people that can explain this much better than me, but lugged steels, you brass or silver braze into like a pipe fitting. That's a lug, and Tim has a bunch of them on his wall over there. But you like heat up the lug with a torch, and you just hold it there till it gets to a certain temperature, and then you sweat in silver or brass to fill the gap between that and the tube, and then it can't move. And then so it's a little lower temperature. Like it's literally like your what would be considerable, but yeah, you're like braising a steak or something. You just get it hot enough that it cooks, and then you put the seasoning in. But for the TIG welding, TIG welding with older style steels, they can weaken the joint, and with the air hardening, when you weld it, it's stronger than it was before. So it's really good for that. But so this is like, it's a budget steel frame, which is high end for most people, but the craftsmanship's solid. You can pick colors, and like this, I wanted to build up a Salsa Fargo, but I didn't necessarily want. I wanted a fender ability. I wanted a steel fork. I wanted really low key paint job, because I call this my LDS bike, my long distance explorer bike. So exploring is what I'm obsessed with, and what Ben has really taken to Large Marge has taken to an entirely new level. But it's just kind of going around and saying, wonder where that goes, and then doing it and finding new ways to go places.
So through all the bikes you've gone through, this is kind of what you're thinking is the one that's the best suited for all of that stuff? You think?
Yeah. Well, if you want to go, you want to wonder where that goes and go really far and not be scared of where you might end up. So So I'm kind of playing now. I had a fancy wheel set that I got. It says whiskey on it, which is the only reason I allow it to be on there, because otherwise it's way too fancy. I wanted this to be real low key, like the paint job's real low key.
Are those whiskeys off the War Road that I borrowed from you before you sold it?
No, these are mountain wheels,
Oh, okay.
and they were on my Salsa Cutthroat.
Oh, and these are 650?
They're 29.
Oh, these are 29. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I had a Salsa Cutthroat, which was a wonderful, wonderful bike, but we do so much train gravel, I kept launching those big rocks into the frame. And the Cutthroat is so off-road, like Tour Divide adventure, that it's not fenderable.
Okay.
And so while it was one of the smoothest, fastest bikes I've ever ridden, I needed the fenderability because there's a lot of, and I had fenders on these until last week, and then I got a little crazy. So apologies for not having my full setup. But I had drop bars on it for the last year and a half.
I rode it with the drop bar version, and the handling was really strange.
That was more my fault.
You said that was about the stem or something, or what?
I change my stuff all the time, and yours was a little bit too much of a beta test. But
It had some of the strangest handling on a drop bar bike I'd ever felt.
yeah, well, it's also the biggest tires you've ever ridden on a
True.
drop bar bike. But the thing I found out, because I really like baskets, and like you have to have a certain type of bike to run a basket on the front, and drop bars in a high trail bike, the basket's a little weird. So I don't like a lot of crap on my bike, but with this and sweet bars, it rides awesome.
So yeah, so I could see that's a Velo Orange Happy Stem.
Yeah, this was just one we had at the shop that somebody didn't buy, and I wanted to get a little Rivendell where I've got my bars as high as my saddle, so that's, you can see, I'll lean it. Whoop, we're going down. We're
It's
going
only
down.
bouncing on.
So
what are the bars?
these are the Whiskey Winston bars, so they're big sweet bars that can fit road mustachy or just mountain stuff, but they're really wide sweetback bars, which I like a lot. And I don't even really need a dropper post off-road because the drop bar or the sweet bars let you get back so far that you can kind of go down like the steepest things you want to. But I've got a little Nito rack under there, super light, simple, with a half basket. And this is, I sold my basket bag to someone because they needed it and it was out of stock. So this is my old rack bag.
That's a Frost River, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tim's got a lot of Frost River stuff, and it's really sturdy, a little bit interesting.
Yeah, looks cool.
Kind of floppy,
Yeah.
but it's tough, good stuff.
Wax canvas is there. Wax canvas, leather straps, brass
Yeah.
fitting type company.
Yeah, so then so I've got a nice steel fork frame. It can fit huge 29 wheels, or I'm going to try 27.5 next in like a 2.6 to get more supple. Because that's something I kind of figured out, is this is the Rock Tour, and it's very much a touring bike.
Oh yeah, we didn't say the name of it. This is the,
Gunnar Rock Tour
Yeah.
Adventure 3 or something like that. But Rock Tour Adventure, but it's got kind of sturdier tubing, so it's a little bit on the stiff side. So like I have kind of, in riding different bikes, figured out kind of the supple stuff. Is there's like supple's really nice. Like having a bike that is a little wiggly is really nice.
Yeah, well, I found that out when I rode your War Road, because I was thinking, what did that have, over 2-inch tires on it?
Yeah.
And I thought the 2-inch tires were going to make all the difference, and it wouldn't matter that it was a carbon bike. I rode that on the Route 8 gravel, just the industrial gravel we always talk about, and that thing was bouncing me all over the place, even with those, even running like 30 PSI and really the wider tires than I have on anything. My steel Rally was still a smoother off-road bike on 42s. It blew my mind. I didn't think that would really be a thing.
Yeah. And so, like, that's kind of the thing I'm figuring out, because, like, these are fancy wheels, really nice fancy tires, Rene Hurst Fleecer ridges. They're endurance, so they're tough. But
And how wide are those?
2.2 or 55
Yeah.
millimeters. But it's big, fast, nice stuff. But with the tubing and the fork made to carry, like, racks or camping gear and stuff, it's a stiffer bike. So so next I'm going to try going to the 27.5 2.6 to try to get that planing thing going where.
And you'll still be able to get fenders with 2.6s on this?
Well, fenders will fit for sure, but are the fenders wide enough to actually stop water? We'll figure that out. But yeah, I'm kind of playing with that. But it's just an awesome, simple bike.
Can people get Gunners through Dirty River?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. We did a.
Oh, you did stock a couple because there was that blue one in there.
Yeah, we've done about 5 so far in the last year or so.
Oh, one of our friends. Oh wait, Stu.
Yeah,
Stu built one up, right?
We just did a.
Oh, he bought that blue. Right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Keep
we
cutting
their
you off.
gravel bike, the HyperX, is this. What was it called? Calypso blue or something? Ben
It was
picked
beautiful,
the color out,
yeah.
but it's metallic light blue, and we put a carbon fork and some nice aluminum wheels and some digital shifting, and it was right about 20 pounds for a really awesome gravel bike, and but it's just really great solid bikes, and we try to get bikes that are simple, that you can change the parts. Like, I've changed the parts many times, as you've seen.
Yeah.
And the bike's simple, and I can change all the parts and make a different bike out of the same bike. And this bike will last forever.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, one cool thing that I think a lot of people do like the idea of is it is actually a made in the U.S. bike, because a lot of people make bikes, and I have no problems with the other brands, but it is cool when it's actually American made. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not just designed in the U.S. It's actually made by people who know what they're doing here in the U.S., which is cool. Not that like the Taiwanese in their factories don't know how to make good bikes, but I did want to ask you. Did you say what the group set, what you're running on here is?
I just changed the gears. I had a SRAM 1x with drop bars. That was really fun. And then I just put I call it beat boop shifting.
Oh, this is an electronic group set you're
Yeah.
running now?
Yeah. So I just put a GX Axis 12-speed. So it's just this little pod right here, and
Let me see the shifter in the front. Oh, okay. So you just have that hanging on the bars.
yeah. So you see, like, I don't have any wires going through my cable guides, but yeah.
My Raleigh's sounding like this now, and it's wired, so you're gonna have to look at that.
Beep, beep.
Oh, you can hear the little servo motors. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
derailleurs, man, are so big.
Yeah.
And what is that in the back? How big is that cassette? That is massive.
This isn't even the biggest one. This is a 10 to 50 tooth.
10 to 50.
Yeah, and they
Dang.
go 10 to 52. But yeah, I'm definitely on the retro grouch spectrum. Like I mean, you can see how goofy and wax canvas and sweet bars and steel this is, but
Yeah.
the beat boop shifting's got a thing. It's mildly perfect, and it's especially the GX and the rival drop bar stuff it's not. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not that far out of the range of like a 105 group set. It's really close, like a 105 or rival mechanical group set, and it's shifts much nicer.
When everyone talks about having it, they talk about how you can't go back. It's almost like I don't even want to try it because I picture my 9-speed Dura-Ace and I can't imagine anything like shifting smoother.
Yeah.
Like I think my 9-speed Dura-Ace shifts smoother than my modern 11-speed 105.
Yeah,
but
it does. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But
everyone talks about like when you try the SRAM like electronic stuff, it's just
yeah, it's really impressive.
I think Dylan had some SRAM, Columbus Dylan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's very impressive. But I also have some other time our friend Neil, Super Tall Neil, gave me a jumbo-sized like 1991 Cannondale mountain bike rim brake frame, and I put huge sweep bars on it with just friction shifters and slick, fancy Reinhurst tires, and that thing's amazing.
Yeah, that's in
it's super good.
That's the bike Otis is riding in the St. Patrick's Day video. If you've seen that, it's a real interesting looking. It looks so funny because it's so tall on 26s.
Yeah.
It has almost like a tall bike look to it. I mean, it really has
a weird thing. There's a weird thing with bikes that they make them to fit in boxes. So even if you're like 6'6", like this frame is made for someone like 6'6", like Super Tall Neil.
Yeah.
But it's not long, and so it's like this tall, and it's shorter than this bike right here, just because they made it the wheelbase to fit in a bike box. And but man, it's zippy. It's a silly fun bike. And
I don't think I've ridden it. I need to ride it, and if I did, I was probably too buzzed to remember.
Yeah, but no, it's a super weird bike, but it was like a $260 mountain bike, and then I put a bunch of weird fancy stuff on it and huge sweep bars, and it's fun.
Yeah, that's a what Cannondale is it? It's a
it's a cheap one. I think it's like an M300.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was something like the one you built up for Aaron.
No, Aaron's is like 5 steps fancier.
Did you guys have any questions about Gunnar or this specific Gunnar that we didn't answer, that we didn't get to? Make sure everything's on the up and up with this stream. I think they're just listening to us. When it's just me, they chat like crazy. When I have someone interesting on, they kind of quiet down.
Yeah, but it's just a tough bike. Like when I first set it up, I had kind of like a one bike kind of road group or drop bar groupo, and I had full slick tires, huge slick tires, and but like it was with the pretty nice parts and the slick tires. Like I had a tiny little chain ring, but like I could climb behind Ben on the nastiest stuff because I had low gearing and wide enough tires, or Large Marge, who can climb the craziest things of anybody, and brutal, vicious, bumpy, gnarly, wet, slimy climbs. I could follow him, but then because the tires were so smooth, like I could just roll and keep up on the straights. And then I built other bikes, but this one is now kind of like my all-around bike, and then we'll mix in some rough gravel bike packing and things like that as we go along.
So Summit Perry just jumped in and said, "What's up?" So, what's up, Matt? And then Jay Dandy, I don't know what this is, and maybe you do. And what's up, Dimitri, by the way? Jay Dandy said, "Speaking of electronic, what do you think of the classified multi-speed hub? Do you know what that is?"
Classified?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know what that. We'll have to look that up, Jay Dandy.
Well, there's lots of different hubs that put gears in the hub, like they
might be what
and then they put a derailleur on the outside, so you don't. So it's kind of one by, but it has a shifting inside the hub. So the internal hub gears are like the front derailleur. I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
Muskrat asked, is that electro forged? We don't know the answer to that. Dos Tacos
Muskrat. You're always pushing the boundaries.
pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
Dos Tacos said he had a 92 Trek single track mountain bike, and you have provided me with some great ideas. We just met a guy who at Bike Party who's new to Akron. He's in the Discord too, and he was riding a mid-90s Trek single Trek that he had turned into a drop bar bike that was riding pretty well, it seemed like. What's up, William?
Sweep bars are awesome. You just got to find the one that feels good to you, because it's just how your hands feel good. Like if you like drop bars but you want to get them more rougher and off-road, like full sweep bars, like the Albatross bar or Billy bars from Rivendell or whatever, those are amazing. But if you're into mountain bikes or just need a little bit, we stock 10 or 15 different things, but and can order a million, but it just kind of what feels good with your hands, because everybody has different.
Where you
like
want
some
them to
people
fall.
want it, like however their hands are, they want it dead straight handlebar, big wide, and there's lots of people that don't. And just find what feels good in your hands, and that's all Mac.
Five a nickel. The Classified is a 2-speed hub. Okay, it replaces your front derailleur essentially. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. I think, should we grab the other one?
The other one's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Whole nother thing. So yeah. So this is like
Unless you
long distance sport bike, big tires, chill position, can carry all kinds of stuff.
This other one I haven't. This is the first time I've seen it. And Lars said, "Quit it with the hands."
What'd I do?
Said, "Quit it with the hands," but that's always my thing. I always end up doing a lot of hand activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not make that sound any better by saying doing a lot of hand activity.
Nope.
Let's see, is that? I can't tell because I'm watching the delayed stream.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Rusty?
Hey, Rusty.
Might see Rusty this weekend. Kelly said Otis gets handsy after a couple beers.
Have a couple beers and handsy up.
Yeah.
How's that?
Nice. What? Oh, this is a storm chaser.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, Salsa made a storm chaser. It was their mud vicious gravel bike, and Ben and I tried to order some, and before COVID, they sold out in like 3.3 minutes, and Ben got a frame, and the shop got one single speed bike, and nothing else, and a friend of mine from Columbus had one of these, and I went and picked it up for a decent deal, and then I put some gears on it, and we had a Cannondale, a super fancy Cannondale that had some fancy parts that weren't selling that great. So I took it apart and was going to sell them all separate. And then Salsa just came out with a suspension storm chaser for super rough gravel. And I was like, well, I got these parts. Why don't we try something? And I had it partially together, and then Saturday night before the Yeti Squad ride, I slammed it together, and this thing is pretty sweet.
Yeah, you need to go through what you have going on here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a stock.
I guess we got to start at the front there because that's.
It was just a stock Salsa Storm Chaser. So it's got cow chipper flare bars, and I didn't do anything with the seat yet, and just basic cranks and stuff. But then I put on a full carbon Cannondale Lefty gravel fork. So it's a 40 millimeter travel strut, but it has road valving, so it doesn't bob when you pedal. It only moves when you hit stuff.
So it just has a pressure sensitive, so it's like low level pressure it doesn't react to? It has-
Yeah, platform valving is pretty popular in mountain biking, but it keeps it when you're pedaling. So, like probably like when you used to have a shock on your Trek.
Yeah,
like
it
when you
bounced all
pedal,
the time.
it just bounces the whole time. So now they have valving that until you reach a certain level of pressure from a sharp bump, it doesn't move as much.
Ah,
And it's popular in racery types, and or if you do a lot of climbing, so it calms the bike down. So super fancy. It's a lefty. It's single crown. Doesn't have the whole double crown thing, so it can fit on almost any modern bike. And then I just did a simple 1x drivetrain, but it also had these just simple DT hubs with carbon rims. So it's pretty lame.
simple DT hubs with carbon rims.
Yeah. It's actually DT's bottom of the line hub with fancy carbon rims, which is what all the discount carbon fiber rim companies are doing. Is they do the cheapest DT hub and carbon rims, but and then some tough Reinhurst tires. So.
And you're also sorry.
Devil's Drivetrain, of course.
Devil's Drivetrain, but you have a race face crank.
Yeah, that's just what came with the Storm Chaser.
Oh,
That's
really?
just a regular crank.
Oh,
Nothing-
really? That's what they put on the Storm Chaser?
Yeah, it's race face is basic. It's just a sturdy, simple crank. But I just the gears are just parts bin stuff. But took it on Yeti Squad, and I was just barely pedaling, leading the ride. It's very relaxing coming out of COVID to ride a extreme gravel superstar bike.
Let me bump up the light a little bit so people could see that gold.
Yeah, it's a weird. They made the metallic after Oklahoma mud, and it's a beautiful bronzy gold.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But it's still very rough a build. But it's the proof of concept is great.
Pudgy just said, Jesus, leave for 10 seconds and a salsa Dale Stormstone shows up. What's up, Jake Kellogg said this is incredible.
Oh, it is. It's amazing. It's
Rick-
pretty.
Rick also is curious how you got two bikes here, but you said you rode them over, didn't you?
Yeah.
Otis lives like what? You live a couple
6
blocks from
blocks?
me too. Yeah.
So, yeah, you just grab the stem. Actually, I rode the Gunnar because it's more stable, and I put the lights on the Storm Chaser because that was farther to the left, and I held the stem. I held the stem here with blinky lights front and back, and rode my Gunnar. I made a wrong turn at the Chinese restaurant and I had to loop through the parking lot, but it didn't crash. So there's that.
Do you think you're going to keep this, or are you going to try and sell it as is, or?
Oh no, it's staying around.
This is in the stable. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you'll sell anything. But
True.
Yeah.
True. But this one, someone has claim on this. So, but not in this guise. Yes, the lefty and carbon wheels are 100% for sale at all times, and they are worth it. It is sweet. But I had to steal the digital shifting off of the Candale Topstone because digital brifters were in such short supply that they're actually on Stu's bike.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm still waiting for the brifters that were supposed to go on Stu and a few other people's bikes.
Yeah, because Large had a Storm Chaser single speed, but now he has a 1x geared, right?
Yeah, he has beep boop shifting with flat bars on it.
That's right.
It is.
Yeah, because he had a single speed drop bar at first, right? Now he's flat bar,
No, he had fixed gear.
fixed gear. That's right. yeah.
Really, really cutting edge. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had fixed geared gravel bike. It was very impressive. But the giant tires weren't as easy to skid control like he was used to on the true fixie. And so he went through a couple iterations, and now he's got like super wide flat bars, beep boop shifting, and racing tires, and it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, he was riding that. Where was he? Last time I rode with him, what were we doing last time? I can't remember, but he was riding it last time we rode.
You were probably coughing.
Yeah. Oh, bike party.
Too soon?
Yeah, the last video I put out, you could see the current iteration of Large's Storm Chaser and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
It's a. But yeah, like we were talking about supple and things like that earlier, but like this one it's aluminum, with the flexi front end and the big tires. Like it's smooth riding, but aluminum bikes, that's not the most popular in the rough riding realm, but
yeah,
it accelerates really quick. It's got a nice feeling. Like coming from growing up loving road bikes, that aluminum bikes with giant tires are really, it feels like a road bike, but you're doing cruel things and exploring.
I've heard they made them better, so they're not as harsh as they used to be too. Because like the Trek 1500 over here, like when I rode that on the road, like climbing a hill felt so awesome on that bike, but it was also jarring and that only fits 28s. That's why I use it on the trainer now, because it's just, you just can't calm that bike down really. But
yeah, and
Rusty said he wasn't here. What is beep boop shifting? Oh, electronic shifting.
Beep boop.
So yeah.
Beep boop. Beep boop. Beep boop.
Do we eat at Arthur Treacher's? I've eaten there 3 times since I've lived here, I think. So.
I guess it's one of the last ones around.
It is. I think now it is the last. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not going to go there because it's disgusting.
Oh, they're describing what. Oh, and then Dimitri asked, is that paint or anodized? That would be paint on aluminum, right? Yeah. Yeah. You only really anodize. Do people anodize aluminum? Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
But small bits, they don't anodize frames.
Not too often.
Yeah, you don't see that as much. I wonder if it's just too costly, because you need a big enough tank, maybe. I don't know.
Is it 10 o'clock yet?
No, he didn't. He wasn't differentiating between B-boop and electronic. He was just using his own term for it.
Yeah, it literally sounds like beep boop when you shift. So
just a little servo motor sound.
So,
What's your ratio in the back on this one?
10 to 42.
Yeah.
It's just SRAM Apex, super tough, cheap
What bars are those? Cow chippers?
cow chippers. Yeah, those are the stock bars.
Huh. Look at me, like I'm starting to know things
Yeah.
about new bikes, like stuff that's been made in the last 10 years.
Yeah. No, I really, one of the companies we're doing frame sets from called Carver, they do $1,500 titanium frames. It was like a bike shop started a bike company in Maine, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they're very reasonable. But we get their frame sets, and they do titanium drop bars, 50 centimeters wide. I think that's going to be the next thing going on this.
That looks a little slammed for your normal tastes.
Oh yeah, it's pretty slammed, but it's a little small too. It's a 57 and a half. I usually do 58 or 59, and but yeah, it's pretty comfortable. The drops are pretty far down there, but it's not bad. I'm figuring it out.
Does Salsa make a drop bar that has that rise like those Richies do?
Surly does.
Surly does. So what are the Richies? Venture Max or something? Yeah.
You need a job, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I said that, I'm like, how do I know that? Like,
Yeah.
watching too much Pathless Pedal.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
How does it wheelie?
Oh, it's tucked. It's fully tucked.
Yeah.
But no, nothing wheelies like my fat bike. That thing
Yeah.
I can is the first bike I can legit wheelie really good in my adult life.
Kelly said like 4 cyclists just went past our house. They might be heading your way.
Yeah. Tell them we have salsa storm chasers.
What did I do to ruin the big fish deal? What did I just say something anti-fish?
Arthur Treachers.
Oh, yeah, they're small potatoes. Yeah, if I want to make money, I need to be hitting up Long John Silver's. Arthur Treachers can't even afford branded wrappers. Have you gotten food from there? Like they have everything's generic. They don't because since they're the last one, there's no like merch. There's no like franchisee stuff in there. Like so like the
They
cups.
can't afford Jay-Z.
Yeah. No, I mean like the cups are just like, you know, when you get that coffee cup with that classic
Yeah.
80s logo, it's just that stuff.
You get
'Cause
styrofoam cups.
yeah, it's just everything is just yeah, it's awesome. I need to go there more often so it stays in business. They did that article on it.
you?
Nah, once a year. We should have like a day once a year.
Yeah. You just
Yeah. Oh, Kelly said a Fat Tuesday. I wonder if Fat Tuesday went past your house. There's a Fat Tuesday
Fat
group
Tuesday,
ride
yeah.
in Cuyahoga Falls. So,
Yeah.
how does the lefty? What's the feeling of the lefty?
You just don't notice it.
Yeah.
It's the funny like if you just look at it, it looks odd, and it's a little bit different to align your handlebars because you have to use the stem and line the stem to the tire rather than using like the fork blades or whatever. But you don't feel anything. I mean, there's massive amounts of strut style wheel attachments in the world. Like both front wheels of your car are like that. All aircraft landing gear are like that.
Yeah.
There's lots of things. So it just looks different. And it's been around for almost 20 years, but it is on the Ferrari end of the spectrum. Like there aren't exactly cheap lefties. There were rigid lefties that were more reasonable price, but it's at that point it's the parts are trickier to get, so it's not really worth the cost benefit difference.
Rusty's opinion is the best drop bars are Red Shift's kitchen sink. I'm not familiar with it. Kitchen sink I thought was a crust thing. Does Long John Silver's have tuna? And Dimitri said he still can't get used to seeing the lefty. It's funny because it always catches me by surprise no matter how, because you guys sell them and I see them all the time. So
yeah, it's different for sure. This is really impressive. It's really impressive. It's just that piece costs almost as much as a regular bike, so it's not like the lower end model of Tim's Tamland, which is a bike that he could probably ride till he dies, costs about as much as that lefty. So it's a different type of thing, but it's for someone who wants to go fast and ride over brutal, rough things. It's a really nice invention.
well, 2 questions. Well, we're on the lefty. I'll go to Patrick's first because it's about the lefty. He said he heard you can't ride no-handed on the lefty. Is that true?
No, it's not true.
Not true? It handles normally, right? You can't even...
If you can ride no-handed, you can ride no-handed.
Then Tony asked, Kenny said that was probably Fat Tuesday to Kelly. Tony asked, how many bikes are in your stable now?
Is this Tony Scarpiti? Is this an honest question, or is he setting me up for something?
I don't know. Probably setting
I think
you
he
up.
is. So, no, too many, but 4 or 5 right now. I just pushed really hard last week during COVID to get my bikes rideable because they were all in pieces. I barely had one bike that was functioning. So yeah, I have 4 or 5 going right now.
Muskrat asked if those are Blundstone 550s.
My shoes? You can see my shoes? Yeah, I just got these. I think they're going to be the one.
I didn't know what he was talking about. I was looking at the bike like I'll just ask Otis.
No, they're just simple shoes. I like them.
Rick wants to know if you can make a right turn.
Hey, if it ain't left, it ain't right.
Doe's Tacos asked if us guys ever clip in. When it comes to us guys, me and Otis, no. When it comes to people who ride in our group, yes, Large and Kenny and Micah. There's only 3? AJ.
Yeah, lots of people clip in. I used to clip in.
I think
it's just what you like.
Yeah, in our group, it's less than
Tim
half.
and I. Hugh clips in and he shouldn't.
Oh, Hugh clips in, yeah.
Yeah. I was saying Tim and I know our way around a drink. Which, speaking of which, that's what I was trying to say. Is that it's a little low?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, you keep talking.
Yeah, because we do a lot of dumb stuff, and we carry our bikes over things, and we hop on and off, and we go places on our bikes, and I go to work on our bikes. So, clippy clop shoes kind of get in the way of that. You can't just jump on your bike and go. So if you have a good a good setup, good pedals and things like that, like you can go. It's scientifically proven on the highest athletes that you can go just as fast with flat pedals as you can with clips. It's just what you like.
Yeah. I say it too when I ride with like my straps, just the ones you guys sell. What brand is that?
But yeah, fixie straps.
Fixation. I like that feeling. But I just know when I ride my gravel or my mountain bike, I like the feeling of being able to put my foot down, and that's personal.
Yeah.
But all the signs on it shows that it's almost negligible. I think it's just like people like that contact, and I get it because I ride with cages on my vintage bikes. And when I'm climbing, I love the feeling of toe cages. Like, it's awesome. Or if you're on a long flat trail where you never have to put a foot down, you know, and you're just kind of riding at a faster pace, I really like it. But
some of the funniest things, so I'm very pro flat pedals, you know this.
yeah.
Like, I didn't sell a set of clipless pedals till the 3rd year of my bike shop. So, clipless pedals are great. If you like them, rock them. But you put someone who's ridden clipless pedals for 2 to 5 years, and then you give them a set of like these will be test ride pedals at the shop, but they're just smooth flat pedals. You put those on their bike, and then you go for a bike ride. It's hilarious. They can't keep their feet on the pedals or anything. So our lovely friend, now living in Florida, Alex Vagilowski, he got some 510 flat pedal shoes and came out on a rat ride, and we were going to ride up the Hickory Hill, and it was like every time his foot came off the pedal like 3 inches and just slammed down every rotation, because he was just lifting and pushing and lifting and pushing. And like whichever pedal you do, if you can keep a smooth circle and unweight your foot, that's how you can be an excellent pedaler. But you get the most power by pushing. There's no way around that. And if you get your other foot to not get in the way, that's the second bit. All the pulling up stuff, it only matters when you're on most extreme trying to fall a large marge.
I'm going to jump through these comments and then we'll take a break, and then we could set up to sit down here and just chat. But Kenny said, get a space horse. That's all you ever need.
He's not wrong.
Tony says he clips in. I didn't know he clipped in. Does he?
I don't believe it.
Half and half? Because he doesn't on his mountain bike hasn't, his gravel bike to, his mountain bike to gravel conversion, he doesn't have clip-in pedals on
Purple
that.
bike has clip-in pedals. I don't believe Tony exists. It's like RUS's.
Kenny is in here too, who clips in. Oh, and then Dylan said Quack just came out with a clipless Blundstone boot. Kind of bizarre.
Oh yeah, that's a weird one.
Oh, Rusty said, hey Otis, thanks for the recommendation on Beat. Ryan is an awesome dude and the shop is sweet. Yeah, we've stopped in there. He's a cool guy. He knew Otis.
Yeah.
Oh, then Large March said, Tim's fallen down more than all the clippers combined.
Yeah.
Remember when I went down on my Peugeot with my feet in the cages?
In the middle of an intersection?
Yeah, and Large had to like get me out on my bike, and I had a backpack with a drone and everything in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember when we went to the ski? All right, well, this is payback on large. Like, I love large, like the world, like the day is long.
Yeah.
But the one time we went to the ski hill and we tried to climb those stairs going around the side, and the only time, largest, one of the most agile and skilled cyclists I know, but he went first trying to climb around some stairs, and he flipped upside down, and it was literally like he was riding a bike trainer upside down, trying to get out of it, and only me and Tim were there, and it confirmed that we are not remotely good enough or coordinated enough to run clipless pedals.
My Trek, my mountain bike came with plastic cages, and I remember like riding it at first, and I'd be like out like there were no mountain bike trails around here, so I was riding the kind of stuff we ride now just to find stuff exciting.
Yeah.
And I remember I was always riding them upside down, and they're always dragging on the ground because I'm like, when I need to put that's worse than clipless cages because that's two motions. You have to put your foot back and then put it down. Clipless, at least you just kind of twist. But yeah, I thought that was insane anyways. It just kind of shows the
But yeah, I did that in the 90s too. I'd tow cages on a mountain bike.
Cages on mountain bikes are insane. Kenny said he can't switch back to flats, drives him crazy. Feels like his feet are always in the wrong places. AJ said the same thing because he's tried flats. And that, when I was real used to cages, and I first was trying to do the flats as we were doing more gravel riding, it does bother me. And even when I start riding on like my flat pedal bikes, it's the first 30 seconds where I start feeling that, or the first couple stops, but you completely forget about it then 5 minutes into the ride. Like I feel like
Ryan Hughes says the same thing. Like he just didn't know where to put his foot. But like I really like with like a lot of people like clipless stiff shoes are the thing. So because you have a small pedal, it pushes, and you don't want it to dig into your foot. But like a flexible shoe with a big flat pedal, like I curl my toes around the end and it feels really good.
I've actually cramped because I'll start curling my toes. So that is actually maybe a positive, maybe a negative, depending. Yeah. But Large said Tony clips hard. Yeah. Pudgy said he's either sandals or clips. Flats are raw dogging for feet. Yeah, I'm reading all these comments.
It's been brought up Mike Jansen 5-finger V-brim.
No, but Tony said he said he doesn't clip. He said, I don't clip in on the basket bike. That's the drinking bike. Yeah.
Every bike's a drinking bike for Tony. Yeah. He's been on the stream. Everybody knows this.
That's like Hugh calling a bike a drinking bike.
Yeah.
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 What did Patrick say? When I wear sandals to ride, I either mangle my foot or get a terrible sunburn. Yeah, I'm anti-sandal as well. Personally, like you could do whatever you.
I'm pro pants.
Yeah.
I'm not even a shorts guy.
Everyone's talking about Bedrock SPD collab. Yeah, let's take a break, guys. Let's take a break and then we'll come back and then we could hang with the comments so we could both read them and like respond. All right, let's do the
whiz pause.
Yeah. And I'm going to turn off our mic, so I'm going to say this out loud. So remind me, I have to turn them back on. I don't have to turn them off physically, but just a reminder so when we start talking again that I've done.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay, this
There we go. Wait, I would just like to take this moment to thank the channel members whose names you see on the screen right now. Their financial support really does make it possible to continue to grow this channel. We will be back in a moment, so it's time to crack open another tea packet and start letting the F-bombs fly. Thanks, everyone.
tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat.
I would just like to take this moment to thank the channel members whose names... Hello, 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 hello. Here we are.
We're back.
So where we ended on the comments, let's see.
Let's see. Bedrocks. SPD. Yeah, microwave your feet.
Patrick, you'd fit in Parma. Chris said, I like my hybrid pedals. Totally rode to the office in dress shoes today. That means they're like SPD on one side and flat on the other?
Should have get off the fan.
I hear people say that, but why can't people ride what they like?
But then you're flipping. It's like if you want to do something interesting on your bike.
But you have to do that with vintage cage pedals. Like they don't, the
Yeah,
one
and
side.
you don't do anything interesting in vintage cage pedals.
Yeah, because the one side is not comfortable to ride on, so you constantly have to flip them over.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's run clip, because you can do
See if I got
really fun stuff with double-sided clipless. You can do really fun stuff with double-sided flats. When you have either one, as soon as anything interesting happens, you're stopping or you're tipping over.
Is that my beer?
Could be.
It is.
No, yours is full.
Oh, yeah. Mine was over there. All right, let's see. So, what was
Let's
after
see,
that?
tuna butt.
Oh, I played the wrong video, so they're making fun of me for that.
Yeah, okay, bite. Did it unironically.
Oh, yeah. How come there's so many members and only 6 people talk? People like to lurk. Alpine Daydream said he watched.
You said lurk?
Lurk. Alpine Daydream said he watches every stream, but that he just doesn't chat. I do that too, though. I watch Terry B on Twitch. I was watching him all day today while I was working, but I don't chat because it's just on my TV in the background.
Also, if you watch on devices that you're not like completely logged in, then you can't chat.
Yeah, yeah. If you just have it on, but not your name on. This is real freeing not to have to worry about like talking louder when I move around with the. I love the wireless thing.
Did you turn them back on? I was supposed to
Yeah,
remind you.
we're good. Good.
Okay.
So I turn it off with the software.
I've a.
Oh, we got a new
Rock
member.
Mill Climbing became a member.
Durace,
Neat.
the highest level too. Thank you.
He's a lovely human being. He or she, because they both are. They're a team
Oh,
of Rock Mill. They're friends of Yanda Yanda Banana Yanda Yanda, and then they ride a lot of all city bikes from the shop, and they rock the Kenmore gravel like it's going out of style.
awesome. Well, Rockmill, if you feel like it, jump into the Discord where there's members discounts on any of the swag, but then on the channel there's also bonus videos and all that, and we appreciate that so much.
This is what we appreciate about shoes.
Yeah. It really does. That's what
Yeah.
makes
Grab t-shirts at Dirty River.
Yeah, grab t-shirts, Dirty River. Yeah. Let's see. It's like a timeshare contract to get out of Tim Sham. Let's see.
Where's the timeshare?
Stop hating flippy pedals, Otis. You get used to, Chris said you get used to the hybrid pedals, not much going on, not going on much single track with those. So what is Tony saying here? There seems to be a huge market for flip-flop, clip flat pedals, clipless to flat adapters, even though it takes 30 seconds to swap your pedals. Yeah, it is one of those things when it's funny when I always want to do, like change pedals. It's still like slightly annoying at home.
I just got to show you how to do it.
I mean, I know you do the step-on thing.
No. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Get the longest pedal wrench you can purchase at all times.
Pudgy, right? It is summer. Pudgy said, Rockmill, you'll be in the members video in about 7 months. Because there was like a period where I was like, had a lot going on, and they gave me a lot of shit about not adding members' names. But saddle height is huge with those hybrid pedals. It's a major difference between flats and clips. Oh, so if you're flipping the pedal, it's affecting your saddle to pedal height probably.
Yeah,
then.
probably.
Yeah. I guess
But you're only using the flat side just to get out of the shit to the clip side, but you still have to flip it to get to the normal side. So it's
not your thing. Not your thing. Not your thing.
People love them. People love them.
Well, we have the best. We have the best invention for that problem right here.
Oh yeah.
So if you're
You
riding,
sold those I gave you that, didn't I?
yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a piece of.
Shit.
I was gonna say.
It's after 10, right?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say this is just a piece of
Of flaming dog crap.
absolute archaic technology that never should have existed to the first place. I think Pudgy tried to explain to me why it exists. But so what
Because
this
people suck.
yeah. So what this thing does? Let me get the focus.
I'm really not this.
No, you're drunk.
I'm not trying.
Oh, my focus just locked on. This lens has a.
Focus.
Damn it. Hang on.
Here, I'll put my face right.
No, it doesn't matter. It's a. I bought this lens off some grifter.
The van down by the river.
Yeah. Anyways, wow, man, that cannot stand.
That's what you get for being professional.
I bought it for. It
You
wasn't.
don't have to answer that.
It was $500, but it's a $1,500 lens, and I got it off a scrapper, like some kind of huckster, and
Scrapper bike.
there's a little screw that pops out, and when I find it under the rubber hood, I could fix it. Anyway, describe these things while I try and fix the focus.
Rusty, this is you and a bike part. Let me see. I'll bring it into focus. Oh, there we are, right there.
Yeah, I got to get this off this lock.
This is
But
toe
describe what those
cages
things do.
that have a cleat on the bottom to clip into your SPD dual-sided pedals.
So you could change your SPDs into
Yep.
cage pedals.
Yep.
Why would anyone go backwards in? Because you could just put cages on regular pedals. The whole thing makes no sense.
No, and then you can, so you can pull up with your tennis shoes and then throw them away and ride Nar mountain bike with your dual-sided SPDs. This is,
Yeah, it's a mechanical problem, not a.
if you can use flip-flop pedals, you're not doing stupid enough rides. Shit or get off the pot, Rusty.
I can't believe
I
those.
love
things.
you. I respect you. I know you do big rides. Wow, this is so fuzzy.
I know it's fun. It's not about my focusing. It's about this lens is mechanically broken until I could get it to click back in place. It's.
I'm just gonna keep going like this, and it's gonna be out of focus even more.
That's not. It's just only the distance to the lens that's affecting.
You can get this. See, you can put this into your SPD pedals, and then get your transition time in a triathlon way down because
Grab
you just
another lens.
jump in.
You just keep ranting about
Grab
this.
another beer. Grab another beer and sober up. So you could wear your hookah running shoes and tighten down your clippy clops into this and have your transition time in a triathlon like 2 seconds. because you're not flipping pedals. You're just jumping in, and you're killing it. This is for you. This is for you. You got it. Okay, I've never been on YouTube by myself, so somebody needs to make a comment so I have something to talk about, because I'm not that interesting. Yeah, of course. Pudgy. It's completely a buzzkill. You do whatever. Whatever I say doesn't matter.
Whatever you say doesn't matter.
Pudgy said I was a buzzkill because I said shit or get off the pot.
Ah.
And he's 100% right. Because it's whatever you like to run, do it. And that's the reason why there's so many
That's the reason.
Patrick
different bike
Barabay
parts.
super chatted $2.
Everybody
Came
likes
here
different
for the
stuff.
flat pedals, stayed for the banana.
Yeah. Banana, banana, yanda, yanda, banana, banana.
All right.
Oh, books. What books?
This is a nicer lens anyways.
Yeah, you got to read The All-Road Bicycle. You got to read Just Ride. Just Ride is amazing.
Alt-Road Bicycle. Oh, Jan Heinz. That's a great book.
Yeah.
Real nerdy.
Just Ride by Grant Peterson.
I haven't read Just Ride. I don't think I have. The Rider.
There's The Rider's great. There's so many nice books.
A nice selection right here.
Urban cycling.
Oh, this is Tim Moore. If you ever want some hilarious cycling
Cyclista-zine
books.
has some cutting edge bicycling stuff. All
Most of
bodies
mine.
on bikes.
Most of mine is nerdy road bike stuff, road racing stuff. Jonathan Vaughters biography.
Mastering Mountain Bike Skills is a lovely book. I've been working. At 43 years old, I can do a 13-foot wheelie. Rivendell just posted. They've been doing like cartoon hand-drawn memes on their Instagram. They posted today that if you need padded shorts and creams on your downstairs, you're riding too far. That's some truth to shade. If you're in the NFL, they talk about strength to power or speed to power. If you're a very exceptional defensive player, but it's truth to shade. That's pretty slick. Ooh, French Revolutions. That's a good one.
Oh, that's up there. That book's hilarious. Oh. Did someone say French Revolutions?
Yeah, the Bicycle Manual by crap. What's the Bike Snob? It's a really good one.
Oh, yeah. Bike Snob has a book?
4, I think.
Oh, really? I didn't know that's what his thing was. I know him from Terry B's channel.
Yeah, one of the more recent ones is the Bike Manual.
Yeah, Mikey, I do have French Revolutions on the shelf back there. That was the book that got me into him. But
If you need a water bottle, you're riding too far.
dude, that who said that? Did you see that dumb Riv post today? Yeah. It said if you
That
need
wasn't dumb. That was great.
if you need chamois cream
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I said you just need a Brooks B17.
Yeah. Which they would say also.
Yeah.
They're the number one seller of Brooks saddles
Yeah.
in the history of Brooks. So you're not wrong, but you're wrong.
Yeah. What did Pudgy say? Nothing personal? Ah. Russ said Walkable City by Jeff Speck. I think Granite Joy is stirring the pot.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's clickbait. You invented the gravel bike. Yeah. You know that?
I did.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
It must
yeah.
be true.
Yeah.
So,
If you need a piss break, you're riding too far. Yes, encourage people to not use tools to ride less instead. But Chris said he's got his saddle set to where he doesn't need cream, but always chamois for hours. I'm the opposite. I do, for long tours, bring chamois cream, but I don't wear chamois because the Brooks B17 feels like it's just so comfortable. Once I switch to those for touring, I'm like, chamois cream just is, for long rides, is good no matter what. When I forget it, I notice
that's
it.
a preventative.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm super proud that, so Kelly,
just don't double dip.
well, you know, you got multiple profoundly discounted B17s from me because I had some issues with them.
You hate them. Why?
I don't hate them.
I only
just,
bought the one from the truck.
I had issues.
I've
No,
never-
you've gotten more than one.
I've never bought a B17 new or a leather saddle period new. So I got the one on the truck from you because it beat the hell out of you. The one on my single speed I traded Kenny for a GoPro 5. What's the black one on now? What am I running that on? Oh, the Raleigh. I traded that to Woody for his engagement photos. That's quite an omen. And some Shimano.
Somebody got a good thing out of
Yeah,
that.
and some Shimano 105 wheels. So that
Yeah.
was a good trade. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Oh, and then that was Stu's. I actually paid Stu money for that one, but it wasn't new either. So I've never bought a new Brooks. Weird.
And this is why I'm poor.
Yeah.
I have like 35 Brooks saddles in stock right now.
Yeah, but I just I
Don't listen to Tim.
sweep up everyone's Brooks. No,
Yeah.
I'm like
Pay Tim for photo work, and he will refund you for loyalty a Brooks saddle.
Yeah. Oh,
No, but Kelly,
Rick just said. Meanwhile, I bought all of my padded shorts from Rivendell, the hypocrites.
Andiamos. Andiamos. Ben just got some Andiamos. I haven't heard a review about them. Did you get Andiamos, Rick?
What are those? Oh, those shorts they sell. Chamois
They're-
they sell.
Yeah, underwear with padding.
I
Ben
do-
was trying them.
I have some underwear
know.
with really thin padding, and I'll ride it when I ride that. What is that? Like a Brooks Swallow that I got from? I
Yeah.
think it's older than that, but that's basically what it is. Which works on a slammed bike.
Swift Swallows, yeah,
Yeah,
those
you
are
can't ride it.
rough.
You can't ride it on anything but a slammed bike, and that's on my Viscount, which is super. Those are the deepest drop bars that were probably ever made.
I don't know, your pink Schwinn, which you got immediately when the sciatica started
Right
screwing you
bef-
over.
yeah.
That thing is beautiful. Have you done a good talk about that bike? 'Cause that
No,
bike
I
is
should. I want to
awesome.
make a full video about it, but until I'm.
We need to get you a silver C post because that looks like stuff.
It's just
it
in
looks
there.
like stuff.
It's just in there because it's carbon. Everything was carbon when I bought it. Remember? It's an old steel. It's an '86
Man,
steel bike that was
that
all
bike-
carboned out.
It's
Yeah.
but the thing, that bike is sub Paramount.
It is. It's their factory Paramount, basically.
Yeah.
Like then they started making Paramounts in Taiwan, and they kind of did
So if
away
you
with
like
that name.
if you like Tim's pink Schwinn, Gunnar's better. From Dirty River.
Yep. Wait, let's see. Where are
You
we?
heard it here
anyways?
first. Okay, so chamois is for comfort and not needed because you're riding too far. Take the grips and bar tape off your bike. Oh, S&M.
Oh, Muskrat asked if you're happy pedaling in the Blundstones.
Oh, it's great. I'm impressed. I went to Appalachian Outfitters. They had them in stock. I tried some on, and they're just simple shoes with. I think I can wear them all day long, and they got a little bit of water resistance. I'm gonna try.
Large said chamois cream. You mean butt stuff?
Hashtag butt stuff. Uh-oh. Boss is telling me.
Oh yeah. Lanky said sometimes he doesn't even use a saddle.
She's the boss.
That's up to you if you want to read that response.
It's after 9
Oh yeah,
or
you're
10.
no, you're in the clear.
Yeah. So the boss said that if you need lube, you're fucking too long.
Yeah, get it
You
done.
gotta work on your technique.
Yeah, get it done.
You're not considering your partner's needs. Partner could be your tank.
Tony said he goes chamois. Moving along, I go chamois on the C17, bare S on the B17, and that's my reason. So I know why some people don't use B17s because some people are vegan and they don't buy leather stuff. But again, so if you need to use a chamois on the C17, but you don't need one on the B17, why have a C17? That's why
The C19 is more like
you've added a third element. Into this.
no, just wait for it. This is a Ronnie
All right, all right.
romance thing.
Okay,
like
let's hear it.
they say it's like if you want a vegan saddle like that, though you are buying a vegan saddle from a leather bike seat company, which there's conflict of interest there, but the C19 is more similar to the surface area of the B17 because the C saddles curve so quickly that you don't get the full 17 centimeter wide sitting surface.
Is that what it stands for?
Yeah.
Had no idea. Learn something new every day. I just ride them. I rode one and I loved it, so I got more. Like, don't need to know anything beyond that, right? Unless you're running a YouTube channel where you talk about bikes twice a week. You know, that might be applicable, but who's doing that?
Yeah.
So,
At least 2 people.
oh, talking about the Rivendell shorts. Rick said they're too tight at the bottom, but he snips them. Good minimalist padding. So, too tight at the bottom. That might not be an issue for you because Rick's bigger than us.
I'm big.
Tony said he prefers the C17 for long rides and tours in unpredictable weather. I don't well, besides one of my closest friends who can't maintain a leather saddle, I don't understand why people act like leather saddles are so hard to like ride in all wet. Like that's all that anyone ever rode. Like people toured the country with leather saddles because
You use fenders and you just cover it in some way.
cover it, yeah. And even on a long ride, if it gets wet, it's fine as long as you don't ride it over and over when it's wet. Then you have to let it dry. So on a tour, you cover it. When I see like the sky gets gray and we feel a couple drops, I'm usually not getting out of the saddle anyways, so it's not a big deal because it's not going to get wet. So I actually don't usually even cover it till we stop somewhere because it's covered by me. But yeah, then you just put the cover on it. I always have the cover in a pocket that's easy to get to. No offense, Tony. I hear this all the time where people are like, I can't have a
No
leather.
offense, Tony, but you suck. Wait. Tony.
Tony.
I love you like a brother. But
Can't always be fucking around with a leather saddle cover, says a guy. I mean, like, how much work is that? Dylan said, cool to see Otis still into bikes after a lifetime around him. The reason
that makes sense.
it does.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, because when you were opening up your bike shop, we had I didn't have loyalties, but I went to bike shops that I got to know. The difference about you and why Wheel and Wrench is great. They're down the street. It's been a little while, but he lives in the neighborhood. If I need something real quick and I'm about to go on a ride, I'm popping there, no big deal. And they're cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's where my bike is from that you bought. Anyways, right? Anyways. But the
Yes.
big deal about you was you ride bikes. So, and I don't want to throw shade on anyone, but another bike shop that's close by, not Wheel and Wrench, those guys would have group rides. Nobody from the shop even went on them. They were just saying a time and a place and starting at their shop. And they weren't involved in the rides. They weren't leading the rides. they also weren't very good at fixing bikes, but that's an issue I learned about a little more when I knew more about bikes. But again, that was the big difference. Like when Brian introduced us to you, it was on a bike ride. And so what Dylan's saying, it's like, I think the reason you're still into them is because you still like riding them. There's other people who open bike shops and then don't ride bikes. And I think that's...
They're much richer than us. Yeah. Much less debt. No, but like with the rides we go on and my Yeti Squad ride on Sundays, like I show up every Sunday, I see who's there, like I was forced to go to church for a very long time when I was young, so I constantly think about other people, and I see who shows up and how big of tires they have, and then I change the route so everybody has fun. But I only do that ride. We're over 250 bike rides in 5 years, and like I do it because it's a bike ride I want to go on. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't a bike ride I wanted to go on, I wouldn't do it. I would just stop. Like, if it was just a ride 2 miles in this direction and 2 miles back, like, it's just not interesting enough. Like, I was diagnosed with ADD after 40. You know, there was enough stuff. Like, I wasn't ADD when I was young. All my family was, but after 40, because of all the things going on, like, I have this, and like, if something's not interesting, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah. And so it's like, people show up, and like, you show up to Yeti Squad, and you might be an elite cyclist, or you might be someone who's barely ridden 3 miles, and like, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
And it might be a different kind of good time than you're used to, but we're gonna have a good time, because I'm only gonna take you on a bike ride that I really like, that I think someone else needs or wants or whatever. And it was like, we had a 6th grader and his mom come. His mom, 10 years ago, before she had kids, was an elite cyclist and brought in like a late 2000s, like 16-pound road bike. It was beautiful. But she lives in Akron now, and it's been 10 years since she was an elite cyclist. So we messed with the gears and gave her actual climbing gears. And so she's going out with like all these old roadies and smoking them right off the couch, coming back into cycling after taking care of her kids. And then came on Yeti Squad, and you know, I do optional shenanigans. So we found some gravelly loop. There was of course a cop car there.
Yeah.
So I was like, we might want to just turn by the cop car, and everybody was like, you know, he's just texting. So we're gonna, so we did this gravel loop, and I gave it everything I had, and she was right behind me on her first Yeti Squad, and just the Suma Gorge Boulevard gravel loop thing right by the false gravel. It's sketchy turns. It was right behind me, and her little 6th grade son was just trying to keep up and just had a blast. And that's what exploring is. It's like, just, there's so many things you can see if you're just a tiny bit curious and you have a bike.
Yeah. And you also, I would say it's important too, is like the fact that you do switch bikes. Like sometimes we joke, like Antonio's joking about how many are in the stable, but you've ridden a lot of what you sell. And I also think that's a big deal when people come in and like have questions to ask. Like, I remember like buying my Trek at Eddie's. It's not the right size. They didn't care. It was on the floor. Some salesman needed to move it. I still have it all these years later, granted. But like, the difference is like, you like know the bikes. Like, there's not like really an all city you haven't ridden, like, or a Surly you don't have some knowledge of, or like that's the thing, when you buy a bike that comes in new, you ride it, and then someone might end up getting a deal on it because you'll sell it or move parts, move their parts, whatever. And like you've always said, the semi-custom bike that you build, someone come in and ride and they're like, well, I'm a flat bar guy. You're like, well, I could put flat bars on this. Like, I think that's a lot of more shops are doing that now. Shops out west probably have done that for a while, but I didn't know that experience. I thought what you walked into a shop and saw sitting there was the only option. And I didn't feel like I feel like these people had read like a magazine or like whatever the marketing material was. It's really different when you come in there, and I'm not trying to sell anyone, but it's just a fact that you're familiar with the actual bikes because you ride bikes and you've ridden the bikes that you sell.
Yeah, and also like with every bike we build and every bike we tune up, like it gets ridden, and that helps. And like we tried, like the least used free thing in the entire bike world is the follow-up tune-up, because a bike is just like 400 parts bolted together, and we build it, we torque it correctly. Me, Ben, yanda, banana, yanda, ride it, and then if something's not right, we go and tune it up again. Somebody picks it, we tighten it again, and then they're supposed to bring it back after they ride it. But of every bike, almost every bike shop of the slightest bit of quality offers a free follow-up tune-up. And maybe 20% of people use that. That's probably an exaggeration. But if you buy a bike and you ride it and you're using human strength to pedal, do the things, push, brake, whatever, like things come loose.
Yeah.
Like I
Cable
can
stretch,
tighten
yeah.
it so many different ways, but things come loose. But if you do that free, and it's free at almost every bike shop in the world, that thing, like your bike, 90% less things will fall off your bike in the next 10 years if you just do that free thing. And almost nobody does it.
All right, let's read some comments.
Yeah, let's
One,
comments.
Kelly told you to calm down. So,
Saddle condoms?
let's go high. Muskrat said, Otis recommended the narrow B17 for the drops. I've been thinking this is good advice.
Yeah.
Rick said, cowboys ride leather saddles in the rain all the time. The difference is, I think, leather tensioned. So a Brooks is a leather tension saddle, where a cowboy saddle has padding. So I think that keeps the shape. The padding helps hold the shape. So the rain is more detrimental to a bike saddle than a horse saddle, but still taking right care. Like Pudgy said,
You gotta let it dry out.
proof hiding it. Yeah.
But bike saddles are unsupported. A horse saddle is against a horse.
That's what, and cushioning. Yeah. A Brooks has.
Are you calling my horse fat?
Yeah. Saddle condom? Saddle condom. Proof hide. When is the next Otis Roubaix? Let's get to that in a second before you go on. Like you said, Eddie's is the worst. There, I said it. Feel better now. Well, if you ever watch Snack Stories, we still know some good people who work at Eddie's, but
There's some lovely people.
there's someone who
at
lives in this
Eddie's.
neighborhood who I like who works at Eddie's. I would never buy another bike from Eddie's. Mountain Biker Boy said, okay, could one use a leather Brooks saddle on mountain biking? Moreover, mud and sand. Do leather saddles tend to not shred trail material debris?
Debris.
Material and debris.
Material. Debris.
So I guess if you were standing up a lot and you were getting a lot of sand and grit between you and the leather saddle, that could be an issue, right? But when you're mountain biking, you would still be covering the saddle most, because from
If
the
you're
bottom
getting
it
mud
doesn't
and
matter.
sand when you're so this is the thing. Mountain biking, if you're getting mud, you're riding the trail when you shouldn't be.
Yeah, true.
And that's why mountain biking is just okay.
Yeah.
But if you're getting that stuff like on a Splorin or multi-use bike, you
Gravel.
have some kind of fender,
Yeah.
so that's not splattering onto your backside or your nice, comfortable, fancy saddle or your headset. So some kind of fender, and then a cover on a leather saddle. But yeah, it's if it's that gross, like if it's an actual mountain bike trail, you shouldn't be there because you're ruining it for everyone. But if it's all-terrain type riding, then if you really want to do great, have some kind of fender. Like it'll keep you and your bike cleaner, and you can ride farther more comfortably.
Let's see what Rick said here. I stopped in a shitty bike shop today. One of the retaining bolts on my brakes is almost stripped. I was looking for a new bolt. He told me to buy all new brakes. Who does that? Yeah, that's shitty. That's a bad bike shop. Muskrat said 20%. That is amazing. Horse saddles are thick. True. It's very different. You know, you have a B17, if you haven't ever seen one, it's basically a leather hammock. You know, I mean, it's just...
It's maybe a 1/4 inch thick.
Yeah, it's 1/4 inch, and it's hanging between one point of contact in the front and some rivets in the back. So leather tension means that. The leather is just hanging there. A horse saddle is not hanging over the horse. It's sitting on padding, then sitting on the horse. But
You get a second level of leather.
you could still ruin any leather. You have to take care of it. It is more work, I'm not going to lie. You win, Tony. Who wants to mess with a saddle condom? Muskrat
I
said a
think
lot
I
of...
just got COVID.
Yeah.
Tim touched me. I just typhoid mare Tuesday.
Muskrat said a lot of people buy bikes and they sit in the garage. True. But being at a smaller shop like Otis runs, or not a chain or not a... You know who's still riding their bikes and isn't coming back in. You've seen it. So there are people who do not take advantage of it that we know about. What did Large mean by one in the chat tonight? We've said a lot of words. Someone who hadn't brought a bike back? Or maybe.
He's so next level. I
know,
can't keep up.
I know it's a hilarious comment, but when I'm talking and reading comments and doing all the stuff I have to do, Pudgy does it too. They both say funny stuff and it goes right over my head because I can't remember what I had said 10 seconds ago.
Like proof hide? Is that
Yeah.
Where's Dr. Jekyll?
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Oh, Eddie's employees, one in the chat tonight. Was that the guy who lives 2 blocks away?
yeah,
Who's a
Josh
wonder?
Hayden.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Your beer tender.
Yeah.
We won't refer to him as an Eddie's employee or a bicycle professional. He is Tim's beer tender.
Yeah, beer tender. Once at the Otis Roubaix. Or the, let's get into that
Road
question.
Apple Roubaix.
Road Apple Roubaix. Someone did ask about the next, Kelly got us too. Now, I feel bad about the Eddie's thing, but I still wouldn't buy a bike from Eddie's ever again. I wouldn't have a problem with their service department. I think they have people who know how to fix your bikes there. But I'm still going to go to you or Wheel and Wrench.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm going to go to you because I'm going to trade you beers for it. I'm kidding.
You never bring beers.
Oh, my God.
You trade me pictures for it.
Yeah, well, I trade you a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We trade never beers.
Yeah.
I've gotten one beer from you.
You
in our
really
friendship.
believe that?
Yeah.
You think that's a fact?
Yeah.
You've drank one beer from me tonight, and I'm about to grab the second.
Sweet, let's do it. Get to it. Chop, chop. You know what's better than a rumor? Truth. Get that beer.
Man, this guy doesn't know math at all.
Yeah, math is hard, okay? That's an Eddie's quote.
That's from South Park.
Yeah. So, but no, the world is full of ups and downs, and the bike shop world is people that they're there to make money and have a business, and then there's people like me that is more obsessed with people and the greater good, and the finance side of the bike shop is always going to be a fight. It's
Yeah.
always going to be a struggle. And I also pay my employees well, and
Yeah.
they're not employees. They boss me around more than I boss them, and
That mechanic of yours.
yeah, no, but if you want to do great things, you hire great people and let them do what they're good at, and it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy at all. And
Running anything yourself isn't easy. I mean, it doesn't have to be a bike shop. It could be, but it's to sell something that is viewed as like, I don't know. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, but also we are. I when I talk to people about bikes, like we're a mechanic based bike shop. Like we work on and fix tons of bikes. We also have ridden tons of bikes, and we ride the bikes that we work on and see how it does and what feels good and what does things and what survives. And those things matter. And if you are just getting into all-weather cycling or you're just getting into multi-surface cycling, like you talk to Ben, like he's ridden over as many multi-surfaces of any person I've ever met. And if you ask him like, hey,
the
what
most
tire?
surfaces.
All the surfaces.
All the surfaces.
All the time. So like you ask him like, what tire do you recommend? Like he sets up hundreds of tires tubeless a year, hundreds. And he also rides thousands of miles. Like he's gonna tell you what tire. And like if I order a tire, like I'm like, oh, let's check this out. And like he or Chris, who's set up thousands of tires tubeless, yanda, banana. If large or Yanda have like, if I order something, they're gonna give me shit about it, and like I feel like a piece of crap, but they're like that's right because we have a nucleus of fixing and riding and whatever, and like you're gonna get a tire that's gonna be great, and you can go and ride with a clear conscience and have fun and do whatever an adventure is for you. And that's really cool. It's special.
Yeah.
It's special.
When people ask questions like specifically on YouTube videos, though, like someone just asked about like what bag was on Marge's back and is it waterproof? And I'm like, I literally like, I'm like, I don't know. So when I rode with him the next day, I'm like, oh, how do you feel about this? I'm like, I think it's a toe peak. And I told the guy, I'm like, I think it's a toe peak, but I'm going to see him tonight and I'll respond to you later. And it's so great because it's like, I ask you guys, you know? It's like, I've never pretended, and everyone knows who watches the channel, like, I know everything. I just know how to run cameras. That's why I have a YouTube channel. Like, and it's like, so I'm like, no, ask these guys. And I even, after that, I'm like, I was like, I think they have them. I asked him, he's like, yeah, we just got more in stock. I'm like, oh, call this number. I was like, those specifics, though, I was like, when you call, ask for Ben. Because he rides with it every day. So I'm like, yep, there you go.
Fanny pack test?
Yeah, yeah. But I don't like him, so, yeah.
Yeah. I thought you did like Marge. I thought he was a pretty nice guy.
No, the packs.
The truth comes out.
Yeah. I mean, that dude will ride with like 3 fanny packs at once.
Yeah? Ooh,
I think 2 is.
that could be a video.
2.
But like even like our
Oh, wait, what did, he said Topo, you pinecone. What did I call it?
Topo. You said toe peak.
Oh, I said Toe Peak?
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Huh. I meant Topo.
It's okay.
I pictured the Topo.
I knew what you were saying.
Mentally. What did, 1, 2, 3. Bike shop owners and local breweries will always have a special place in your heart. Well, you've come to the right place. Yeah. I saw, so traveling through, I don't think he's in here tonight, but he's a friend of the channel and has a really good YouTube channel too. He's out in Colorado now, and he rode into this town. I'm not going to think of the name of it, but he rides right by, and there's this big sign that says, painted on the brick on the side, it says Bikes and Brews, and he goes right by it and doesn't talk about it, and I'm like, traveling through, where are you going? Like, what was that place? You know, it sounded like everything. But for good advice. When we were in Syracuse, there's a great bike shop out there called Mellow Velo. And we walked in, and we looked at the bikes, and they had cool stuff, and we were on our way to Nutmeg. We're chatting with the owners and everything, and like cool dudes. You walk through a door, and they had a restaurant that was all made out, and like all the seating was made out of like all the Thompson bags and stuff like that. Like, and all the pictures on the wall was all cycling art, and it was amazing. And we go in, and there's a bar, and we get brunch, and they have Bloody Marys and all that stuff. And then we talked to them on the way out, and they were like, and I think they thought they mistakenly that I also worked at the bike shop, like we were all like the bike shop crew, and they were like, don't do the restaurant thing. It's a nightmare. But we saw how they did it, and they were doing it just like amazing, like the best little restaurant you would ever want to sit in. You know what I mean? Completely bike themed, but the food was just absolutely killer. I mean, like the best brunch, you know.
And they were all on anti-anxiety. And
They were, yeah,
antidepressant
absolutely
medicines.
look like when I worked at the farm in the middle of August, they looked like that's how we, you know, looked when we had been doing 7 days a week, 15-hour days for like 3 weeks at that point where your eyes are sunk, you can't speak clearly, you know. But it was an amazing, absolutely amazing place. But anyways, I don't know how I went on that tangent, but bike shop owners and breweries, yeah. We were at the one place that really did combine
Drug dealers.
Yeah, one place that really combined them amazingly. But yeah, must have been a ton of work.
Topo.
So
Frost
many-
River bags. Handlebar bag.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
pronounced
it's going to get
topo?
saggy.
Is it?
Topo. Yeah, topo. Like topography.
Well, you just said topo.
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 Yeah,
Not
topo.
topo?
Topo.
Topo.
Topography. Topo.
Thanks. I like usually people just write it normally and I pronounce it always wrong. Like I ask about Nito.
But Chris Alto, Frost River, we stocked their bags for quite a while. Their handlebar bag is one of the most perfectly shaped handlebar
that
bags,
too.
period. Tim has one. I had some, and then people wanted them, and I sold them to them. But because that's my life. But their handlebar bag is excellent. A lot of their other bags are very well made and will last for a very, very long time. But there's little edits that need made.
Yeah,
And
they don't make them. They're not responsive, unfortunately. We said they kind of weren't responsive to your suggestions.
well, I just it like things were a little they can sag and things
Yeah.
like that. But you
So the
can,
handlebar bag is amazing. And it's
Yeah.
got like the things too to hook onto the bottoms of the drops, which I
Yeah.
like, so keep it from swinging.
yeah, it's
this
just wide
bag,
enough.
This bag I've overstuffed and ridden thousands. I bought this when I was still riding my Peugeot as my main bike. So it is like 100%
That was one of the first
hold up.
bags you bought for me.
Oh, I thought you said bikes. I'm like,
First bag
bags,
you bought
yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
And then it had nice leather pad here.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is hitting your head tube or your like cables, it's got that smoothness. Killer. Frame bag, which I still use all the time, but it has a huge flaw, is they only put 2 straps.
Yeah, it's
So-
unsupported in the middle.
This one for me, I still use it bike packing, and it's so great for that because, and I measured and bought it on purpose because my tent poles fit perfectly across this. So when I'm bike packing, I love it because it stays perfectly straight. The tent poles actually support the bag, and then I put like usually my heavy stuff in here because I like the heavy stuff in the middle of the bike. And the design is great. There are other flaws. The zipper is only one-sided, and on a bike bag, you want I want a double zipper.
No.
Because if I have like food in the front, when I'm riding, I want to get to the food. But then if you could slide both the zippers to the back when you're doing other things, say you're getting your battery packs out or whatever. But a good design is then they have the thin pocket on the other side, which, you know, wallet, phone, stuff like that. But so, and it's the same thing. Like this has probably 10,000 miles on it, and there's no sign of anything giving out. But
Yeah.
yeah, if they would put like
It's
a new
super solid, but they should talk to us because we'll be happy to give them
Yeah.
feedback and improve them.
The thing I feel with Frost River is because they're all indoors encompassing, I don't feel like they're actually cyclists, which is, they've made really sturdy stuff that works really well, but
They're
doesn't
kind
have
of
the,
backcountry focused.
yeah, they don't have that fine refinement of the things that might annoy a cyclist eventually. Like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
cyclists don't like saggy stuff.
But like you buy it, it's gonna last. Like
Yeah.
you wash it once a year and take care of it. It's really good stuff.
And the orange ones are super
But the
cool.
the
looking.
shape of that handlebar bag, like it's just like all the burrito bags are a little small. This
Yeah.
one's a little longer and it has
Yeah.
loops to attach to the bottom of your drops. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Super perfect.
Yeah, like I said, a bag that and they're American made too. That's another nice thing. Yeah. Wax canvas, American made. And
Yeah, Tim Saggy.
they don't claim that they're waterproof, but like that frame bag is almost never, like we've been in downpours and it's like kept almost everything dry except in the worst conditions. Oh, I still have $1 in here. Look at that. Oh, we already plugged.
Thanks,
That's
thanks,
why I have
Pudgy.
that's why I have moderators.
Thanks, Pudgy.
And showing where.
Tapo, topu, tapu, poo, poo, groovy.
Oh, Patrick said he has a Frost River backpack. They're bomb-proof, but their wax canvas can be kind of saggy. And I think that kind of also goes with wax canvas, right? Where that's, but
Yeah.
with the frame bag, the fix would be a third strap in the middle.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard to do. Like,
Was this the big one or the not so big one?
I think this is the large
Okay.
because they have a, well, they had a half and then they had a shorter version of this too.
Because I got the smaller one. It was pretty decent. Because Cardinal Parking had the same
Andy,
one,
yeah.
and he rode in the rain quite a bit, and it literally drooped like inches. In the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel bad. So I gave him my smaller one, and it held up, but yeah, it needs.
Yeah, it
needs
really
more-
should've- they really
more
should've put one more strap.
structure or more straps.
I think just one more strap would have done it. Because I also like that they have they have these two for the seat tube and the
Yeah,
front.
show these brass buttons like that. That
Yeah,
is
yeah, just
beautiful.
it's nice. You might need to. So I've switched the straps around. You could hole punch your own leather if you have a leather punch, but you don't have that adjustability of Velcro or other like valet straps. But it's worth it because
so
when you get it locked in right, it's just nice stuff.
And then you like proof-hide it or open house
Yeah.
it once a year or whatever, and it's good stuff.
Like I said, this still goes on I had it on my bike when I was riding with Pudgy out at John Bryan the other day. So yeah. So Pudgy just said like just get Brian to sew a center strap on that. The problem is they've put this really nice, what holds it nice and tight. So you could, and we could even cut that out and put another one in. But they've like really reinforced everything so it lasts so long. So you're really tearing up a beautiful job to do that. And again, it's not a big deal because I only use it when I tour now. That's what I use it for because I use different bags for just everyday carry. But yeah, but again, when you buy a bag, if you're still using it for what you like, there's no reason to modify it. But if I wanted it to be my everyday carry, it might be worth having someone fix it up to make it work more how I want it to work. So something in there, so boy. They do. Oh, Filson. Yeah, Filson is a company that makes stuff like that.
So
Brooks makes bags.
So you guys like Swift, or do the followers like Swift? Because we post COVID, we just had our first chance to get Swift bags at the bike shop, and
yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that because like I don't like we've had to. I like to find companies that do what we need to do and stick with them, and COVID completely threw all of my values out the window.
Yeah.
But now we have a Swift account and they do basket bags, they do nice top tube bags, they do saddle bags,
And they
handlebar
just started
bags.
the frame bags, yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that. They're not all made in the U.S. now, but they do like they are a U.S. company, and so I do appreciate if you guys have comments about Swift stuff.
Yeah. I know Dylan's I think the one who got me into Swift really, so I know that he's into it. So we'll see if we wait because there's a delay on all this. Pudgy said just sew an aluminum pole in there. Again, that's a workable solution. There's solutions. I just wish they were responsive and like made a version 2 and they just addressed that. Frost River. Juan had a good question, though. He said, I'm curious about how you guys approach marketing. How do you address the needs of roadies versus gravelers?
Well, we really, the thing about Akron is there is a roadie culture, but Akron's infrastructure is so decrepit that if you want to hold the line and be a roadie, you're riding a slower bike. And roadies don't like to hear that, but we have such steep hills that big gearing doesn't work. And we have so many potholes and, berms with gravel from driveways or just non-swept streets.
Or all spring from all the gravel that goes down with the salt.
Yeah, that the fastest bike is a gravel bike with really good tires in a medium width. Like, that's the fastest possible bike in our area. And so, but I'm also talking about logic. And if you want to ride 25 millimeter slick tires on 25.3 millimeter wide carbon rims, you're not going to like what I have to say. But you're riding a slower bike than what you can ride in Akron.
In other words, you guys, like you said, you worked at a place called Tritech Incorporated, Encapsulated Multisport. You guys work on any road bike that comes in. I've watched you guys work on like the highest end System 6 Cannondale or whatever it might be.
We make that stuff perfect.
But that's not your, so when he's asking about marketing, it's almost you don't, because you're not marketing to roadies. Like, that's, because I remember like Brad talking about, funny Brad, one time a bunch of guys came in asking for Kaunagos or Pinarellos, the crew of Japanese guys who we always see riding the towpath, and they ride on these skinny tires, and it's their culture, and I watch them carry their bikes over anything rough. It's just like, you just don't. You're not marketing to roadies. That's, if someone walks in, you might see if you could steer them in a direction, but it's just not your.
No, because those bikes are made for fresh pavement and sunny, dry environments, and that doesn't exist here.
Yeah. So, 123 said, very interesting. Roadies are big spenders. Very true, and like you said, you've talked about this, but I would say.
But we have roadies, but they keep coming back because we fix their bikes better.
Yeah. So it's
Because
and a bike shop also, by the way, Juan, like the mechanic side is more profitable than selling a new bike. The profit margins on new bikes are very low. On maintenance is a better business model. To have a shop that has good mechanics and fix anything is a better business model than to sell a bunch of triathlon bikes, because the margins are low on them.
Well, and that's what people do with, like, we don't do a lot of e-bikes because currently in the U.S. you can't fix an e-bike. You can't fix the individual components of an e-bike. Like, they just don't provide that to us. It's, if something breaks, you hang it up or park it, and then you wait for a new part to come. Yeah.
Large Marge always getting on us. Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's, you're right, Large. You're right. Is like, but we're here, we read all the cutting edge research. If you want to ride in Northeast Ohio faster than anybody else in your world, come and talk to me and Chris and Ben. Like, we will make a bike that is so much faster than anything else. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be, because where we live is different, and it's horses for courses.
Yeah, and a big thing of the roadie thing too is like, it's not all, nothing is just a stereotype, not a Like everyone's not the same. But a lot of it is showing up. It's just like anybody I know who's super obsessed in anything. Gun culture. When I worked on a farm, I'd watch they stand there and they look at each other's guns as they put them together and polish them. A lot of the roadie culture and the people who want the $10,000 Pinarello Dogma, they're more into all looking at it and having the thing they think they need than actually caring about what is the most functional.
No,
And
you just want to look cool.
Yeah.
You want to spend money and look cool.
Yeah.
And I do that.
it's fine. It's
Yeah.
it's a
but-
world you can live in. And like
But there's facts. There's facts, and then there's local knowledge. And when you take facts and you read them and apply them to local knowledge, there are certain bikes that are faster than everything else.
And Lard said there are plenty of roadie roads around. You can go out in the country and you could ride roadie roads, but I still think you're just as
Not in
fast.
some county. I disagree.
Really? You wouldn't say out in...
No, there's some counties not
Because we
wide
ride
enough.
out to Wadsworth and stuff like that, and there's...
Yeah, but you're getting into a different county. That's Medina County.
Oh.
I didn't stutter.
Rusty said the roads just hit different here. Muskrat said, do you think industrial gravel should be protected and expanded, just like mountain bike app? No. I like this. Most of the stuff that we like to ride as industrial gravel will end up being bike paths eventually anyways.
Yeah.
But I've already felt the loss of some of the stuff that used to be so unique to us. That is, I'm not against it, like where they've expanded the Freedom Trail. Like that used to be single track, but you could ride it on almost a road bike. I used to ride on
like Falls Gravel could turn into the Veterans Trail
Yeah.
and be nothing.
and it'll still be something I ride because it's better than riding on the road, and it gets me to where I'm
But
going.
it'd be a loss.
But I have no desire to, like the idea to me of industrial gravel is the idea. I believe there's people live in a lot of cities like we do that has a lot of interesting things to explore. Like you're saying, if you're willing to be like, where does that go? To me, that's the concept behind it, not about protecting it or making it a thing. It's just like, it's already there. You should take a look, without doing anything.
It'll always be there.
Yeah.
Because there's always like even we live in one of the most population dense zones of our country.
Yeah.
And there's so much abandoned shit to ride. Failed, somebody had an idea. There's so much stuff to ride.
Yeah, just trains aren't the thing anymore. I mean, every single train company had their own train tracks. Now there's 2 train lines through town, So.
Well, like Kelly and I rode from our house 3 miles from the bike shop. We rode on a train service road, and then we turned onto the train gravel, which was rougher than what Kelly's tires were on. It was a bit much, but we looked to the left, and there were 7 sets of tracks, and nothing was on it. 7 sets of tracks. There was zero functioning tracks. It was like there's gonna be so many routes there for
Yeah.
the foreseeable. You just got to be a little bit curious to find new ways.
And people are like, and I'm always amazed. Large takes us out on a route I've never been on before. It still happens. So, no, I just think it's a thing. It's just a thing that's a fact that exists, and I don't have any intention of trying to promote its protection. Stu is a roadie, and he just got that Gunnar. True.
It blew his mind.
And Tony had said, Dirty River turns roadies into gravelates. And again, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression that any of us are anti-roadies. Like, I have no problem with people going on in a group ride that they love. Like, Cameron's a roadie, loves it, one of our friends. Going out in a group and riding fast. I think the idea we're saying is that, like, you're still better off with a 32 than you are with a 23. Everywhere in Summit County and Medina County. Like, the science bears that out. Like, super skinny, super narrow, super aero bikes are great for the pros. I'm watching the Giro d'Italia every day. I love pro racing. I watch those guys. Those marginal gains don't matter to your average human being. And especially if you're in a group ride. Because drafting is going to make up more than your fancy carbon bike easily. I could sit in those wheels on my Raleigh and my bike is not going to slow me down. On my Renaers with studs. Like, you know, and when you have to take your turn on the front, you have to take your turn on the front. And I mean, like, that small percentage of gains from a really fancy bike is so minute to normal human beings. And even, I would say, our group rides are faster than your typical cyclist who just wants to ride a bike, not your roadie. But we tend to get going once in a while. The bike just doesn't matter that much, you know? You might as well be comfortable.
It's the person. Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Comfort is king. The
Yeah.
more comfortable you are, the more your bike matters.
Yeah.
And
I still like to ride my vintage road bikes. I've squeezed 32s in almost all of them. And like, I get a kick out of them. But again, they're soft steel, so I'm also getting, even though when I'm on narrow tires, I'm getting,
cleaning.
yeah, I'm still having a more comfortable ride than a modern stiff carbon bike. Like, and again, just all opinions, so. Oh, Muskrat said he remembers when the bike and hike was all gravel. That's before I was riding out there.
Ooh,
But
that'd be fun. I don't know that.
I know Large was telling me when Freedom was all gravel, but I didn't know
Yeah.
about the Freedom. We used to go, me and my dad used to go ride the hike and bike where it is along Route 8 and stuff like that. And that was paved when I was a kid, or fairly young, but. And Stu is like he started riding in the 70s and he was serious about competing. So he's still a guy who wears kit and stuff like that, but he also does like to explore and ride around. And so, and you can still have a road bike for that. It just doesn't have to be a $10,000, you know.
Yeah, but like
Medalla.
he bought different bikes from us, like, and he bought a lot of nice bikes because he likes biking, and then he sold them and bought a simple steel gravel bike, and he just did the Gap Trail. He put a rack and fenders on it, and all of his friends were completely covered in mud, and he had a simple steel gravel bike. He did a beep boop shifter. I'm gonna put that out there. It was Devil's drivetrain. It was sick, and but he had an amazing time, and he kept up with his friends 2 weeks after COVID.
Yeah.
On a 60-some-year-old guy.
Oh, he had COVID too?
Yeah.
No,
He might have given it to me.
yeah. He shakes a lot of hands.
Yeah. He's a glad hander.
He's a piano repairman too. So, Large said sign up for the ABC ride. There are a lot of roadies do shit, but my point is I think I could still ride my Trek, and that wouldn't be the difference between. And when I say my 500, my 1982 Trek with like 2007 105, I don't believe that would be the differentiator between me being able to hold a wheel and not. A lot of those guys would just drop me. Well, Large and Micah and AJ would drop me. It wouldn't be because of the bike, in my opinion. Like, and I would grab one of my road bikes because I know there's nothing not that smooth. I would ride a steel bike with 32s, you know.
And also, like, a lot of road riders will ride to the right of the white line in the berm, where all the gravel, it's basically gravel. All the gravel, all the glass, all the nails, the staples from somebody throwing their office paper out the window or whatever. Like it's much safer to not die to ride to the right, but if you want to actually get anywhere, if you ride to the right of the white line, the street sweepers don't go there. The cars don't chuck the thing. Like, with the skinnier your tire is and the higher pressure you have, if you're to the right of the white line, the more flat tires and the less riding you will do.
Yeah, and isn't even, I think Large is kind of getting on our case. Isn't he also riding a steel bike on 35s when he's talking about his road bike? His Zigzag is...
It's a beautiful bike.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I have no, like, it's fast as hell, but he's not riding it on 25s or 28s or, yeah. Should we do one more of these before we sign off, or?
Yeah, of course. I can't feel my face yet. Uh-oh, Kelly. Absolutely beautiful country. Yeah. Dirty River is the sponsor. One of the premier sponsors of the ABC ride. It's Pick Your Distance, Akron Bicycle Club. You can ride all the beautiful giant roads of Summit and the surrounding counties. It's
The whole
exceptional.
Tri-County region.
Yep, that's it. The greater Akron area.
We
So-
don't really have a Tri-County region. I guess.
Because there weren't any really good Akron bike shops 10 years ago, so the Akron Bike Club went other places.
But that is a roadie group, right?
Yeah, they're no. Well, I won't say roadie, but I'll say they like to ride fast, and there's multi-generational and stuff like that. But we're here to say that where we live, the fastest bike is not what Lance Armstrong rode.
Why not an Aroka ride in Akron area? I think they like their photo. I think the Aroka rides are all about their photo ops. That's why, well, they actually invented Strada Bianchi, which is amazing. And that became a professional race that's now like almost considered a monument. But I think they like their scenic. That's such a marketing thing.
They just want to be
no,
seen.
no offense, Muskrat. I love my wool. I wear wool jerseys and ride vintage bikes, and
They just want to be seen chafing in public.
I look at the photos. I found, yeah, I did.
I got you. I totally got you. You heard it. He had a pause because my joke was so bad it was right.
Yeah, no, I think those rides are cool. If I lived around here, I'd go on one. What's his name? Alejandro, who lives in Spain and Florida. He told me, he was like, come out, bring Aaron, bring any of your friends. You guys could stay with. We'll figure it all out. He's doing the Spanish one. I think
Is that former Yeti Alejandro?
No. He was the one who was asking you about a bike one night, but he travels between Florida and where he lives in Spain. I think they'd be fun, but I also like they're so strict, and I get it, but it's a photo op. I don't think the rides would be bad. The rides look great too. Like I said, Strada Bianchi's would be amazing, but it's a little overboard, right? I mean, like I couldn't ride. I don't have a single bike that would be and you guys know my bikes that would be allowed to be ridden there, because even my Peugeot, the original Simplex derailleur on the back is broke, so I just have a Shimano on there. I wouldn't be allowed to ride that bike at an Aroka ride. Yeah. So is that how you pronounce it? I've never heard it said.
Aroika.
Aroika. So yeah, my Viscount wouldn't be rideable because it is a Shimano derailleur. Yeah, I don't have a single bike that would qualify for those because they're so strict. So
I mean, if you just slathered it in this, it might apply. Italian chamois cream.
the other thing is, on open roads, no one could really stop you from riding anything. I've always said that about other rides. Like someone's like, "Well, I didn't sign up in time." I'm like, "Well, I mean, it's not a closed course."
Yep.
Oh, did Party Size go to bed? All right. Good night, Party Size. I need to talk to him. He's just sent me, I ordered a bandana and sent me some cool stuff with it. Oh, Cassie has asked, that's what you were showing? Hmm? Yeah, these are Great Lakes Edmund Fitzgerald, Cleveland Classic.
Yeah, he got stouts for me, and it's a porter.
I meant dark beer. God, man, ungrateful.
But, uh-oh.
It's from talking. That's the. Mm-hmm. What is going on here? We're just ranting about Aroika, not paying attention to anything.
Yeah, but Aroika is super cool if like you're paying for a wine tour in Tuscany or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's great, but I said shit or get off the pot about pedals, and they're like, I want to run what I run. Like Aroika doesn't care. They want you to run super old shit that has failed as a scientifically valid form of bicycling for
Says the guy who's a Rivendell proponent. Rivendell.
Rivendell.
That's what Rusty's drinking, by the way.
Rivendell?
Rivendell. No, like I'm saying, I like riding my vintage bikes, but I don't need them to be like 100%. They don't have provenance. Like, I don't, it might be different if I was searching down like a Calnaga, Mexico, and then I was only going to put the right campy group set on it. At the same time, like, does Aroika just become like roadies all riding the most modern Pinarellos, where it's like you just have to have the look to hang with us?
Yeah.
I guess the whole thing is where we came from.
It's just a big money thing.
Yeah. And that's I don't know. And someone said this to me early on, which I didn't even know about, because I never thought about bikes. I never thought about bikes from a cyclist perspective. I thought about them from something that I like to do, and I never was involved in any bike culture. Someone said to me, like, and I can't even remember who it was at this point, like, oh, it's cool how you guys don't care about what people are riding. Like, you all just, like, ride bikes. And I'm like, oh, what would the alternative be? And they're like, oh, like people who are totally obsessed with fixie culture in Cleveland. Or, like, I didn't realize, like, people would, like, put other people, like, when I first was getting into, like, knowing you and knowing Large for what they rode, I thought, like, oh, if you ride and you guys all ride at the same pace, you're all cool. Like, so I was riding my vintage mountain bike with the beat-up rock shock on it, and Ben was riding a fixie, not a track bike, a flat bar fixie, and what's his name was riding his road bike, and he always rode in kit, and Shermack was riding a fat bike half the time. Like, it didn't cross my mind that there was a different, and then I started to, like, you get more into the culture, and you're like, oh, like, there's, like, people look down on other people for their choices. And I know we've been joking around about that kind of stuff tonight, and that's just nerd stuff.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, people who ride at our pace, we don't, or want to do what we want to do, there's none of that. Like, it's like,
But that's,
you're trying to help people out. You're like, oh, hey, by the way, you might be better off with this. That's what you kept pushing me towards. Like,
well, it's like,
32s
I can
might
joke,
not be the best for railroad
I can
gravel.
joke shit or get off the pot with pedals or whatever, but it's like, if you like something, that's great. Like it and do things.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, and that's like a lot of people love mountain biking on full suspension bikes.
Yeah.
Like, they're really smooth and you can do really rough things, but I just don't want to take my bike apart all the times and have to pump up my bike 17 times a year to do things. And like, I ride them. They're sweet, but I just want a simple bike with giant tires that I can go and do cruel things. And it's just less things.
And I just try and remind myself.
That's a preference.
Yeah,
It doesn't
preference,
mean
yeah.
I'm looking down on you or throwing shade, or like I'm giving you that tiny dick energy that, like, oh yeah, you suck. Blah, blah. No. It's if you like something, just do it and have a great life doing things outside.
No, that's what I always. And
it's
a lot
better.
of a lot of our criticism is meant to be helpful. The more you get into something, the more you realize, because you do it, like you said, that's what makes someone an expert. And like I said, you kept, when I was riding railroad gravel at first, you're like, it could be more comfortable. I'm riding a Viscount on 28s. Like you're right. There was a better way to do it.
But you did have to be drunk and high not to get flat tires.
Well,
I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
Like, and I remind myself of that. So when I was in Florida, by Tallahassee, and I hit the mountain bike trails that had no elevation.
Is that a new Supple Life?
But
Drunk and high.
it's a supplest life.
This was many years ago. Fitzwater Photography is this professional.
Yes. But, and then I was looking at people on full suspension bikes, and I was riding on the gravel bike I rented was stupid, but it had like 35s. Whatever. I was doing a road ride anyway, so it was fine. Then I'm like, oh, mountain bike trails, they can't be that gnarly. And then I'm riding them, and I'm like, no, I could ride this on my Peugeot. And I was having fun. They were just flat in the woods. And then I saw people on like very expensive full suspension bikes, and I reminded myself, they might be practicing on their bikes to go somewhere gnarly. Like, just don't ever judge what you know what I mean? Like, you don't know. And even if they did, even if they like spending all that money and feeling good, it's like when I see a jogger down the towpath with bottles strapped all over them. I ran my whole life. It looks a little ridiculous to me, but I don't know what their situation is. Maybe they have some hydration problem. You know, it's just like, you try and remind yourself. It's like, don't judge anyone you don't know,
Well, yeah,
because you don't
it's
know
like
what there's...
people like I had a customer at the shop, like they came in with a person at the same time. You never know who comes in with whom, and someone came in and like it's a established customer who goes through a lot of bikes. They're a fringe candidate and you know, just above homelessness.
Yeah.
But they always have a bike that needs something, and we help them out, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
But someone else came in right with that person with an older mountain bike that was way too small, and they wanted riser bars and a fork extender and all the things. And I was like, they came in with that person. Is this like a thing where they're going to ask for $400 of stuff and then they're not going to pay me?
Yeah.
Because that happens.
Yeah.
You know, like I try to help a lot of people.
You
but
get a lot of vagrants in the shot,
Yeah.
and you try and keep people alive.
fringe candidates.
Yeah, fringe candidates.
Yeah.
He gets, before you go on, like, a lot of people walk in there with old Kmart or old whatever kind of bikes. They just want something that they can give Otis a $10 bill for, which there's nothing. But he still does something just to keep them from dying on their way home. Anyways, go on.
Yeah.
It's just a part of town.
Yeah.
Or
And
the city we live in, yeah.
Yeah. So like we do something to make it functional, but this person like they had a medium nice old mountain bike. They were 6'1" and they wanted things up higher, and they were like, I have a neck and this and that, whatever. And so like I didn't judge them. I just talked to them and I was like, hey, like this, like you need all new cables because your handlebar is going to be here, and they were here, and we'll make it safe or whatever. And like the person came back 2 hours later with $200 in cash, gave me that, and we're going to fix their bike, and it's going to be great. And you just never know.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, it's about helping people because bikes are awesome. And it can be, you know, especially with $5 a gallon gas, like, bike is an exceptional way to work a job and take more money home. Okay, we got super missional.
Well, let's see what we missed. Kelly told you to calm down again.
Really?
Then,
She's right.
then someone said, come get your boy. And then she wrote, he has 2 bikes to hold him up on the way home.
I'm only taking the fast one home.
Oh, are you still, touch my camera through the fence, Otis?
Rusty, I don't know what you're going for.
What was Mountain Biker Boy saying? Hey, shouldn't everyone have a road bike journey? I rode road bike through CVNP and the Chagrin Valley for years. It was fun. The Sherman Death March. Yeah, I mean, like I said, doing the Rafa Festa 500, I was riding my Peugeot out to the CVNP. So I have a 72 Rally and I love it, but braking is downright scary downhill. Yeah. Suicide levers. And yeah, I have a lot of single pivot.
Suicide.
The ones that are on the,
Oh no, you gotta cut those out.
yeah. Erin still has those on her World Sport, but she doesn't ride that much anymore. Yeah, single pivot brakes are, I still have those on my Trek 500 when I go touring.
You kidding me?
When I go touring with all the weight on that bike. So I've got the modern, not modern, but they're 2007
Dual
Shimano.
pivot.
Yeah. No, but the brakes, I've got the modern levers, but the brakes are still the old Diacomp single pivot. No stopping power with weight. They're good enough for, some normal stuff. Where else are we?
My beautiful, lovely wife just said that I have 2 bikes to hold me up on the way home.
Yeah, I know. I read that to you.
So brutal.
Are you still having a hard time getting parts? Juan asked. Because
yeah.
it was a nightmare for a long. But don't
Yeah.
you guys still have stuff that's like ordered like a year out?
It sucks.
Go on
It
about
sucks.
this while I take a leak.
It sucks. 1, 2, 3.
It's after 11:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, ask. Yeah, talk.
Tony said it gets cooking after 11:30.
But that is a thing. So like everyone knows about the bike parts shortage.
Yeah,
And
no,
everyone was kind of thinking that would be over by now, but you guys got stuff that's like still way back ordered.
Yeah, it's still the hard time. Like Ben and I order most of the parts, but and we just got beaten down finding stuff. Like we have at least 30 to 40 vendors that we can get different parts from, and our more common vendors there's 10 different ones, and we have got enough parts back ordered in the last year that we have a huge amount of cassettes. We have every type of chain from 1 to 12 or 13 speeds. We've have all that stuff in stock all the time, but it's basically we just learned how to play the new game, and it's kind of like a video game, and we still have to order parts really fast, months ahead of time, so we don't run out in the future. And that's still kind of how it is. So there's shortages, but there are at least back order systems that we can keep getting the parts we need to keep people pedaling.
Where'd I put my beer on the way to the bathroom? I found it.
I don't know. Apparently after 11:30 there's nudity, so
Oh, I think Albert showed some nip action last time.
Rick's pretty excited about nudity. I think I have a Sasquatch t-shirt on. So Rick, you better get excited. Here we go. Are you
All
ready?
right, mountain biker boy.
Ready? Oh, look at that.
Oh wow,
Oh yeah.
some naked yeti action.
Sasquatch.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. That's for you, Rick. From Ohio to Philadelphia.
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to. Yeah, anytime I've gone past 11, it's usually a little.
Oh, Pudgy, you're talking about farts. So, I was hiking with some friends,
Go to town.
and they had not ever bridged the gap of friendship where you can fart in front of each other. And I was like, well, maybe we need to bridge that gap. And now you're talking about farting and it be a stimulus back, but I went into my garage the other day and I tore a quite exceptional fart, as they say, but now that there's nice weather, you know, the neighbors are having bonfires or talking to their family members or whatever, and I was like, oh crap, I can't just rip a fart in my own garage because it'll echo and scare the neighbors. So there's that. I feel like Pudgy was asking that question.
Oh, that sounded like it was going to go on for a lot longer.
Oh, it would have normally, but I don't want to ruin your
Yeah, you got it.
YouTube channel.
Yeti balls. Oh man.
What's a banana split? Chris McCallum. I don't know.
This is your favorite live chat? Keep it going. I was about to be like, I think it's
Oh,
about time to
no,
wrap
no,
it
no.
up.
This one right here. Kelly Post Adams.
Oh, the live
Yeah.
photo.
Do you remember that?
Oh, I know, because he showed it
yes,
to me.
yes. It was
You
terrible.
you were trying to send him a photo of some biker clothing thing,
Yeah. No.
but
So,
you had sent the live photo.
Yes. Kelly is super smart. Large Marge is second super smart. And so we had done a really awesome bike ride in the winter, and it was like mud and shenanigans and whatever. And so I meant, because I'm 43-year-olds and technologically ignorant, I meant to send Large Marge a picture of my footwear that was covered in mud
Yeah.
and like how disgusting and epic and muddy the bike ride had been. And I was like, oh man, this was a just great bike ride. It was awesome. So I sent him a picture of my boots that were just covered in mud. But as I just overshared with Pudgy, in my garage, you tear ass before you go in the house.
Yeah.
So I'd taken a fucking live photo. And so I took a live photo of my boots. And then 1 second after the beginning of the live photo, I had a giant fart. And Ben, who's a beautiful piece of shit, actually looked at the live photo and held his finger down on it.
Yeah, nerd.
And so it was like, oh, yeah, Otis had a muddy bike ride and held it down. And then it was like,
Oh yeah. Oh, he showed it to all of us.
yeah, I know. I would never, like, when I die, someone is going to play that fucking video. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, live videos. So turn off live videos on every photo you take. Because you're a human being and people don't need to know what you go through.
I don't turn them off on the photos I take, but when I text somebody, then I hit that little. There's a little symbol and you press it. And
I don't know these things.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I'm younger than you. I don't know these things.
I know you don't. You're not younger
I'm a
than me?
fucking old man.
Are you younger than me?
Yeah.
How old are you? I thought we were like exactly the same age.
No, you're 2 months older than me.
Oh, god damn it. You're...
Piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking grandpa.
Live photos came out at the same point in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your job is photos. My job is not making people die
Yeah.
on bikes.
That's why when you see the cool photo on the Dirty River stream, Large took it. When you see the crooked one where everyone's face is cut off, Otis took it.
Yeah. I'm all about the moment.
Yeah, the decisive moment. You're a real...
You gotta live in the moment.
Help me out, Rick. I just totally blanked on the most famous street photographer. Oh, Cartier-Bresson. Yeah, you're a real Henri Cartier-Bresson.
Yeah.
Taking the decisive moment.
Duh.
Yeah.
I'm pure id and pixels.
We should look at what was that bike that Rusty did buy? Should we talk?
Apparently Rusty has a much better job than all of us.
So this is an e-cargo bike, huh?
That's a Bake Feets with some jazz.
A what?
Bake Feets.
That's the brand.
It's a boat. No, it's a style. Bake Feets is you've got a boat in the front and pedals in the back.
So Rusty just picked this up. This dude's going hardcore.
You didn't pick that up. Like, you gotta like finance that shit.
Why? That's a turn of phrase.
That's like a $6,000. That's the aero and cargo. Look how slack and tucked that back end is.
Rick, I saw your comment, and you can go fuck yourself. Just so you know, it's acknowledged. That's a space boat. This is an e-cargo bike. Dylan has an e-cargo bike. It's not quite this fancy.
I bet you could fit 4 tune in that boat. Too soon?
Never.
Too soon?
Oh, this was Pudgy's.
Jetsons?
I think it was in response to that bike.
Oh yeah.
Try and keep up, Otis.
It's an Aero cargo bike. I'm impressed. It's beautiful. So where's Tony? Tony's got to throw some serious shade at me. C-17 repel farts, B-17 absorbs them. You're right. Oh my gosh. Did you know that Brooks, when they said all weather, just meant they were weathering farts?
That's not true. That's not like that 17 information.
Tony
you
said
gave.
so.
That's not like that 17 information
He's
you gave me earlier.
He's a multi-coastal a professor. He's been in New Jersey and San Francisco in the last 3 years.
Rusty doesn't have kids, right? Oh, Rusty said it's pretty awesome. He got beer with it tonight. Oh, Dylan's cargo bike isn't an e-bike? Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah. It's just a cargo bike.
You could
Nice snowmobile.
You could pick up like 3 kegs in that thing. It's
Oh,
impressive.
that is a full on. That is a car replacement right there.
It's beautiful, but it also is aero. Look, aero. It's no. Aero.
Urban Arrow. That's the
Arrow.
wrong arrow. That's the
Arrow.
wrong. That's not how you spell arrow.
But look at the bike. It's aero.
I dig it. Is that a big old bell on top? Or is that the e-bike controls?
Is it a bell?
Oh, it is a big old bell.
Oh, yes, Rusty. That is, man, that's
You're
impressive.
pulling that much weight, you might as well put the biggest bell you can find, and he did.
Best bells in the fells.
You know what? Can I ask everyone about this? So, Pudgy, this is again, no offense. When people say butt hurt, I can't help but think that is some kind of like, that was just never a phrase I used. But I also feel like it's like some homophobic. What is that supposed to mean? Butt hurt. What is that supposed to mean? Like you got fucked in the ass? Like that's supposed to be a negative? Like nobody here is homophobic. So that phrase, and everyone uses it, Pudgy. No offense. Like my people, like so many people that I like and who are the most open-minded people use it. What is that phrase supposed to mean? I only can take that as something that has to be a negative connotation. Like, what else could that mean? Butthurt. I just don't like it. Sorry. This is just a personal thing, and it has nothing to do with you using it or B-17s or anything else. But have you ever thought about this? It should be
If
crazy
you
for
sat
you.
on a B-17 rung, you would be butthurt.
Yeah,
It's
I
slippery.
guess.
But
You
yes.
let it kick your ass. Is that what that means? Butthurt means you let it kick your ass? That phrase bothers me. It's always bothered me. It's just a personal thing. Yeah. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm never going to use it. But you're also wrong, because you should ride, everyone on this channel says, ride the saddle that's comfortable for you. And
Pudgy's right. You got butthurt over butthurt.
you're right, I did. Absolutely did. Yeah.
So my 3rd grade teacher was 4'11".
I just got hurt over butt hurt.
Yeah. But my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Peretta, was 4'11", and she was the school paddler. And so once a month.
Oh, people don't believe this existed anymore, so I love that you're saying.
Once a month,
Yeah.
the principal would come and like, Miss Peretta, we need you in the hall. Somebody needs a certain level of discipline, and little Miss Pretta, who was 4'11", would go to her teacher closet, which had her her raincoat and her little bag and her boots or whatever, would pull out a 4-foot-long paddle with country kitchen hearts cut into it, and would go out
That's
in the
for the
hall.
wind speed, so you can still swing it fast. Yeah.
It made it more aero, and would go out in the hall and my friends would be in the hall because they were in the next homeroom, and she would whomp on them because apparently she had the best backhand, and she had a paddle as long as she was tall with Country Kitchen Cracker Barrel hearts cut into them before that was a thing, and she would whomp on them, and you'd hear, and that was a fucking thing.
No, we had like the ultimate punishment when I was in elementary school, public school, Revere, Bath and Richfield, uppity, fairly middle class, whatever. Like, you could get smacked in class, and then if you did that 3 times, you went to the principal's office to get spanked by the principal. And people keep trying to tell me, like, that's not a thing. Like, there's no way they hit kids in school. I'm 43. I am not ancient. Like, you know, like we are not talking about the 1950s here. We are talking about the middle 80s and the late 80s. You were getting hit in school, in public school. And people try and steal that memory from you. That is 100% true. That was, like I said, the ultimate punishment was getting spanked by the principal of your school. We were a smaller school, 800 students, in high school. So a graduating class of like 212, and I think Revere's a little bigger now. But this is not the middle of nowhere. These are the sons of the managers.
This was Canton City Schools.
Yeah, and these are the managers of Goodyear and Firestone. That's what Bath was, you know, like. And people try and say that didn't happen. Rick asked if you have Miss Pretta's number. She's probably dead now, Rick.
Oh no, you can't kill Miss Freda.
Chris said, think I pay to get beat on. Tim's getting butthurt over paddling. No, that was a thing. I mean, we grew up like that. I mean, our parents definitely hit us, but not in not in like an angry fist, black eye way. But it was corporal punishment. It was that line up. It was come back. It was they didn't hit us in anger. It was like go upstairs, come back down in 10 minutes, and then we're spanking you. You guys didn't have that?
Maybe you didn't get hit in anger.
We did once in a while, but it was rare. It was like, you know, it was more my mom being like, when Dad gets home, you're getting spanked. You know, like, we had a cutting board. It was like what you're talking about, but it didn't have the cutouts. It had a handle and it was long. And my cousins, who are about 10 years older,
It's like a cricket bat.
like, yeah, my cousin Peter drew big lips on the end of it when he was in town. I think we called it the paddle. That was, you know, it was.
Yeah.
Chris said, yeah, he got spanked in the early 80s by his teachers. Yeah. Like, I would say up until the late 80s we were getting spanked in school.
Yeah.
Because I was born in 78.
Yep. Pushing
so
1990.
I would have been 10, 12.
Pushing 1990.
Yeah. It was still a thing. Yeah. It's just like trying to explain to someone like pre-internet, internet coming of age life and this kind of stuff. This is still like one of those things that we're like transitioning. Like everything was transitioning. Like
Yeah, and we hadn't yet learned how to use a pipe bomb to blow up our teacher's car.
Yeah, the retribution was, yeah. Pudgy said they had a metal yardstick. No, those things.
Yowzers!
I have one here, and I know how bad those hurt. Just jokingly hitting someone with one of those things. Oh, Pudgy got paddled in school, too? Yeah.
That was, man. There's, like, how are you going to learn your times tables when your friend's getting yelped in the hallway?
Well, I remember always hearing it in reference to, like, Catholic stuff, like Catholic nuns hitting your knuckles, which was never a thing for me because I went to public school. Like I said, a very middle class and upper middle class public school, but public school nonetheless. But, yeah, we were getting
I had a
spanked.
lot of friends that got whooped
Yeah.
at school in the hallway. I heard them. That was fucked up.
Oh, Muskrat said he was spanked silly by a nun. Chris, yeah, good night. Oh, Rusty said after a school shooting today, a pipe bomb comment is especially egregious. Well, that would be every day of the year in America, Rusty, so yeah, I guess you can't make any pipe bomb jokes anymore. That's obviously sarcasm as well, so.
Yeah, I was an elementary education major. Like, I want nothing better than little kids to have a great time at
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
It's
Man, we are getting
we're
spammed again.
naked HD fun, webcam, girls, boys.
Yeah.
Yay. Wow. All right. Bots.
We should probably wrap this up. I mean, now we're into corporal punishment, so.
Yeah, corporal punishment. Can you imagine you
Buy a bike from Otis.
No, can
He
you
won't
imagine?
spank you.
Yeah. Be like, you've been bad. Now we're gonna give you a bicycle, and you're gonna go ride around the schoolyard. What a better human you'd be.
Yeah. On that note, yeah, Thursday. We'll stream on Thursday. We'll look at some bike pics.
And find out who's not contagious to Tim.
Yeah.
Okay. Myself on your YouTube. Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay, this time.
Fitzwater photo.